Abnormal spiritual energy. Mu Qian's mouth twitched. I didn't expect you to be so gossipy like the other people who have nothing to do are. But I can't help it. That's leader's fiancé, he liking men is. That's a decree made one-sidedly by the emperor. Do you think I will take it seriously? Mu Qian asked. I don't. Yu Ziyi felt really miserable in the Queen Dowager's feast, but a hope suddenly appeared today. Now that he knew that the Night Prince prefers men and Mu Qian doesn't take the marriage decree seriously, then everything can go back the way before. But what confuses him is despite the Night Prince's preference, why did that person continues on pestering leader? In the end, Yu Ziyi was grateful for the Night Prince liking men. That is truly wonderful news. The spiritual mine is not far away from the capital. The outer layer of the mine has been hollowed out by the royal family while inside there is an internal stone sealing the area. No matter what kind of attack, the stone won't budge. Mu Qian ordered. Yu Ziyi, you try. Yes. Boom. Yu Ziyi did his best, but the stone didn't shake a bit. Mu Qian looked at the internal stone and said, there must be something strange going on. That stone is too tough. This is unusual. No matter what attack is used, it won't open. Mu Yi, Mu you two try to attack it together. In spite of the successive attacks, the internal stone still remained the same. Only the stones surrounding it broke. Forgive us, my lord. Mu asked. How can we mine as this goes on? Mu Qian said. Don't worry, I knew the shadows already done everything to get this stone out. This lord will think of another way, so I'm going back first. Understood. The Mu Jia's people stopped working. The Crown Prince, Shenyuan Li Shong, who is currently overseeing the kingdom's affairs, continues on keeping an eye towards any movement of the spiritual mine from the sidelines. Yes, Crown Prince. Ha ha ha. That girl must be really disappointed now. She, becoming the Night Prince's fiancé, only amounts that much. She and that spiritual mine are truly compatible, both are useless. Shenyuan Li Shong roared. The Crown Prince has always been very dissatisfied with Shenyuan Juyi. It is a pity that that man cannot be easily provoked. Hitting him is like striking a stone with an egg. Tien, it means to invite disaster by overreaching oneself to attempt the impossible. Additionally, there is the Night Prince's boy toy that he can't get out of his head. Shenyuan Li Shong's grievances against the Ninth Prince are getting bigger and bigger. Now that he got this news, he is now in a good mood. Meanwhile, Mu Qian ordered people to purchase some things like niter, charcoal and so on. These days there are no medicines but strange contraptions surrounding her. Tien, another term for potar. Siam nitrate, a constituent of gunpowder. Yu Ziyi, follow my instructions carefully. We'll open that mine this time. Yu Ziyi took that black lacquered thing and asked. Leader, this thing that doesn't have a spiritual energy, can it really destroy that hard stone from the mine? Mu Qian patiently explained. Although this isn't a spiritual weapon, don't ever underestimate the black gunpowder's power. Once you're done, tell me the results quickly. Move far away after igniting it. Don't hurt yourself. Yu Ziyi, understood. Boom. Suddenly, on each sides of the spiritual mine, successive loud noise occurred, followed by a landslide. Fortunately, Yu Ziyi listened to Mu Qian's warnings. He hid himself far away beforehand, or else he would be stuck in a miserable state. Opened. It finally opened. Gongzi, that blasts really opened up the mine. The power of the black gunpowder was stronger than the attack of a spirit king. Finally the internal stone is shattered to pieces. However, this is obviously not enough. If they truly want to mine, the excavation must continue until they reach the depth. Yu Ziyi said with excitement. Someone report this immediately to leader. Since the effect is better than expected, Mu Qian continued on creating another batch of the black powder to send to her people. After some hard work, good news came up regarding the spiritual mine. Lord, there are a lot of spiritual jade inside the spiritual mine. Not only is the even the quality of the spiritual jades are better than what the royal family has. Mu Qian sternly said. Block the news. Send our most trusted people to mine and then distribute the spiritual jades to the shadows. This will help them to become stronger as soon as possible. Yes, my lord. If news that the worthless spiritual mine is actually a rare one filled with high-quality spiritual jades instead came out. With the royal family's shamelessness, those SCUMS will definitely think of a way to get it back. So, she must be very careful with how they will proceed from now on. The mining of the spiritual mine was very smooth. Meanwhile, the emperor finally made a breakthrough to Spirit King. Mu Qian also used most of her time to cultivate. Lord, there is another discovery inside the spiritual mine. What did you find? When she's still at the spiritual mine that time, Mu Qian can guess that the spiritual mine is quite unusual from the first glance. We found a mysterious channel. It wasn't formed naturally but looks like dug by something. Mu Qian asked. Did you check it inside? No, we will wait for the Lord's command first. Mu Qian said. Then, guide this Lord to where it is. I want to see it myself. Yes. Upon reaching the entrance of the mysterious channel, Mu Qian saw that the size of the channel is very narrow, at most, reaching a tall person's height. Go. Mu Qian ordered. As they went deeper, the more spiritual jade appears. But the temperature is getting hotter as they proceed. When the temperature increases, those who are already at the Martial or Spirit King can use their qi to protect their bodies. However, Mu Qian, she who is only a spirit master, can only summon her water spiritual energy to wrap herself from the heat. At the end of the channel, Mu Qian saw a huge lake underground. Upon close inspection, the lake isn't made of water but filled with lava instead. Tien, in the raws it says red flame but I don't think it would make a lake so I used lava as an alternative. Mu Yi is the first to speak. I don't think that the royal family controls a place like this. Inside the so-called lake, the lava is surging in frenzy. This time, a gorgeous lotus slowly floated at the center. In Mu Qian's eyes a glimmer of light flashed. Sansheng Fire Lotus. Sansheng Fire Lotus, each petal is crystal clear and connected symmetrically together. If that isn't the Sansheng Fire Lotus, then what is? This is a rare 9th grade elixir. How did it appear in here? Mu Yi said. The Lord wants it. Then, I will take it. Mu Yi rushed inside the lake. Suddenly his clothes are caught in a fire. He took a step back. Apparently, spiritual energy doesn't work. Mu Qian coldly said. Mu Yi, come back. Mu Yi breaks into a cold sweat. He hastily retreated. By the time he came back, the fire already covered his whole left leg. Luckily, Mu Qian already summoned her water dragon in time to extinguish the flame. After the flame is doused, Mu Yi is filled with severe burn marks and pain in his left leg. Mu Yi in a frightened state asked, "What is that flame?" "Lord, don't go. Spiritual energy doesn't work in there." His lord rarely caught any interest in things. When Mu Yi saw the look in her eyes towards the fire lotus, he unconsciously went to grab it. He never thought that with his strength he is still unable to get it. His heart sank. Mu Qian said, "Stay here, I'll go." "No." All of them shouted. Mu Yi, who is a spirit king, already burned himself to death. If the Lord, who is only at the first stage of spirit master, go, it would be dangerous. Mu Qian waved her hand and said, "Don't forget that this Lord has a water element. Since normal spiritual energy doesn't work, only I with a water element would withstand it." After that, Mu Qian leaped towards the center. When the lava started to reach her feet, her whole body was instantly wrapped in a blue veil. Boom! When lava and water collide with each other, Mu Yi and the others who are watching from the sides were shocked. "Me, Ju Yi, do you know the rumors that is going around these days?" Ju Yi, "Know me, do you wanna know?" Ju Yi, "Know me, do you only answer no every time I ask something?" Ju Yi, "Yes me, fine. I'll talk instead. Rumor has it that you're gay." Ju Yi, "So?" Me, "What do you mean so? Don't you know?" The guys hanging around Mu Qian now knew that they still had a chance due to you being gay and all. Ju Yi finally looks me in the eye, he said. Ju Yi is here. The spiritual energy that is protecting Mu Qian she from harm doesn't come from her own but from the water dragon ring, the eternal ring itself. Even if she's still weak, with the ring's power, it can still stop the flame from burning her alive. Mu Qian's figure leapt and landed safely at the side of the Sansheng Fire Lotus. Mu Yi and the others finally breathed a sigh of relief. Great. The Lord is fine. Mu Qian reached out her hand and took the fire lotus, forming a satisfied smile on her face. A 9th grade elixir. Since arriving from this world, this is the first time she had found one. Just when Mu Qian is preparing herself to return to the others, Mu Yi with a pale face shouted, "Lord, be careful. Stupid. Did you honestly think that a 9th grade elixir is easy to get? Just where does your survival instinct before go?" A series of Ting's insults flooded her ears. Mu Qian felt a sudden horrifying power coming from behind. When she turned back, she saw a fierce and huge fire-shaped monster that can spray a flame hotter than the sun. Basically very hot. A suffocating aura shrouded the area, almost as if death has come. At this time, the surrounding air seemed to stop from flowing, and in a matter of seconds, a horrible flame attack is heading before her at a frightening speed. Ting used his powers and shouted, "Ugly woman! This is not the right time to lose your focus. Run quick!" Mu Qian's figure flashed as she tried to return with the others. Boom! A loud blast echoed inside. The fireball that was sent out made a huge hole on the wall and had formed a pit. Lord! Mu Yi and the other were shocked. In the next second, they saw Mu Qian standing at the side, unharmed. Mu Qian ordered, "Don't act recklessly. Let's get out of here, quick." Yes. Sure enough, an elixir with a grade like this also poses the same kind of danger. A deafening roar came out. "Wretched woman! Stop right there." A wild series of fireb ALLs were thrown after them. Mu Yi and the others did their best to run with Mu Qian. They are undoubtedly racing against death. Boom! Stop! Upon seeing the exit of the tunnel, several of them rolled out from the mining area. However, at this time, a creature covered with flames also rushed out. Mu Qian knew there's no way out of this, so she put down the fire lotus on the ground and said, "I didn't know that this elixir has a guardian. Please believe us that we did not deliberately take your stuff. You can take it back and we can just forget that none of this happens, all right?" The anger on the creature's voice didn't diminish a bit. It roared, "Who cares about that little lotus? You puny human. How dare you to interrupt this deity's sleep? This sin is enough for me to take all of your lives." The creature is in a state of hibernating. I think. Just when the fireball was about to hit Mu Qian, a white small figure flashed in front of her. "What show is this? Even dares to kill my master. Dream on. I, Wudi Tianxia, will kill whoever dares to hurt master." Wudi's figure turned into a cannonball and rushed towards the fireball head-on. Mu Yi said, "Lord, your contracted beast seems to be a 7th rank beast now, but the power I feel from the fire beast is stronger. If I'm correct, it should be a holy beast. Is this really fine?" Mu Qian calmly said, "Wudi is very afraid of death. It won't do things that have no certainty. Wudi, although the level is a little lower, wields a special power. Every time the fire beast launch an attack, Wudi on the other hand easily avoids it. I will kill you. Come out." The fire beast is getting angrier and is in a hot pursuit of the white cat. This time, the white cat wails, "Master, run. This thing is too strong. I can't handle him. Hurry and ask for help. Find the terrible man. Only he can deal with this thing. You want to run? No way." The fire beast heard Wudi's entire plan. In a flash, it rushed to Mu Qian's direction instead. He waking up when it isn't the right time yet was really a sin that requires death. It will definitely kill all the people who woke him abruptly from its slumber. In its mind, killing them is not yet enough. Just when the fire beast's fireball was about to reach Mu Qian, a black figure suddenly appeared, letting the flame completely disappear. Juyi. Mu Qian looked at the person in front with shock. "Millimeter, it's me." The icy blue eyes flashed a cold light. Shenyuan Juyi already rushed towards the fire beast side and attacked it. A small white ball floated in the air and suddenly fell. Mu Qian hurried to try and catch it. She asked, "Wudi, are you okay?" Wudi turned his eyes open and gasped, "Damn, this cat was almost burned to death. If my strength is restored, see if I won't roast that pig." Series of explosion flooded their ears. As the fight of Ju Yi and the fire beast went on, the entire mine cave began to collapse. Ju Yi coldly said, "Wait for me outside." "All right." Mu Qian together with the others quickly made their retreat. This level of fight is not what they can handle. Earthquakes and tremors began to spread. Mu Yi sighed. "His Highness, the Night Prince's ability surely surpasses," says others. "If I remember correctly, His Highness isn't even 20-year-old yet, but somehow his abilities and cultivation probably exceeds third masters." In the face of such powerful enemy, the fire beast was annoyed. "What are you exactly? How can you be so powerful? Are you really a human?" Boom. The terrible flame rushed out of the mine and into the sky, dyeing the entire sky into a fire red. With the immense power coming out, the mining area began to collapse. Mu Yi pulled Mu Qian and said, "Lord, we must go. I'm afraid the fire beast has another trick. We must leave this place immediately." Fortunately, this mining area is located at a remote area. If there is such a big commotion inside the capital, the whole place will burn out. Such terrible force, Mu Qian could not help but worry. Ju Yi is still inside. What if an accident happens to him? In the flame akin to a volcanic eruption, a black figure suddenly comes out. With his black robe, he looks like a demon floating down in the mortal's world. The hot flame could not hurt him, and it even became a background that added to his demon-like image. "Ah! Let me go!" A scream of a piglet came, destroying everyone's trance. "Are you all right?" In Ju Yi's hand, it seems that he's holding something. Upon closer look, Mu Qian was shocked. Wu Di, who was resting in Mu Qian's arms, said, "It is the red pig that spurts fire. It is indeed a round red piglet." Its hind leg was carried by Ju Yi as he hangs it in the air. The red piglet is not much bigger than Wu Di. Mu Qian's mouth began to twitch. "The creature attacking us is this little red pig?" "Yes." Wu Di nodded. She initially thought that it was a powerful ancient beast. Never did she expect that it would end up as a pig. In any case, this red piglet could not escape from Ju Yi's hands at all. Before reaching Mu Qian, Ju Yi's bone-chilling voice entered the red piglet's ears. "If you want to live, then do what I told you." "Oh make, red piglet, why didn't you say that your master has a strong person backing her?" "Wu Di, you're chasing me with fire, remember?" "Red piglet, damn. If I knew this would happen, I will never let myself out from my nest." Wu Di, crosses his arms towards the piglet. "Welcome to my world. Just to remind you, there is no turning back now, red piglet. Sorry guys for the delay again. Actually, as of now I'm trying to find another job. There are many reasons, but let me tell you only one thing. The working hours are slowly killing me. I feel that my body won't last long if I overwork myself any longer. I've been busy going from interviews the past weeks, and I already informed my boss about my decision too. If I got another job, I'll tell you guys later. Also, I'm not dropping this novel. I too have real-life problems, so please be patient with me. The next chapters may take longer than I've said in the previous chapter, but all I ask is patience from you guys. Please be very patient with me. See. Before we start, I have to thank Dilicat for the teacup with handle. Thanks redheart #redheart#redheart#. Not good. The little red pig's ear that looks as big as a fan was being held by Ju Yi as if it was a cup. Even with its tangled state, the pig still made a skeptical gaze towards Mu Qian. It said, "You're telling Emmy that I should let myself be contracted to this woman who's only at the realm of martial spirit master? Are you insane?" Tien, he is referring himself in a very arrogant manner in Chinese. The term used is which means uncle or a term of respect for an older man. After that, Ju Yi made a leap beside Mu Qian. He asked, "Do you like to eat roasted pig today?" Mu Qian finally understood. With a twinkle in her eyes, she let out a sly smile to the little pig. This little guy almost scorched her to death. How could she miss this chance to retaliate? Mu Qian nodded. "Roasted suckling pig sounds delicious, all right. Definitely one of my favorite." Mu Qian's unscrupulous eyes scared the living daylights out of the little pig. It wailed loudly. "Didonti, don't eat me. I agree. I'll make a contract with you. It said so reluctantly, therefore Mu Qian was still dissatisfied with it. You want to have a contract with me and you're expecting me to agree easily? My Woody is invincible and cute, why would I want you? Meow tilde Woody, who's been praised twice, sticks its tail straight up. Compared to that white cat, I am much stronger. The little red pig was angry. It looks towards Ju Yi and its heart almost stopped once again. The little pig wagged its tail and rubbed Mu Qian's sleeve with its nose. With its pitiful appearance it speaks softly. Won't you have a contract with me? If you still reject me, this devil will surely kill me. Woo, accept him. He can protect you. Ju Yi looks straight at Mu Qian. Woo. Please. The little red pig continued its pitiful look with teary eyes. This pig is definitely much stronger than the kitten. With its strength as a holy beast, even a spirit king or martial king cultivator won't stand a chance. Mu Qian smiled and said, Fine. I will make a contract with you. If you dare not listen to my orders, let's see if I won't make you a roasted pig. I wouldn't dare. I won't let you down, master. In terms of contract, the little pig's case was way worse than the kitten. After being forced by Ju Yi, it took the initiative to create a slave contract with Mu Qian. After this, it won't even have any pig rights. Mu Qian exclaimed. This is holy beast level. Mu Qian felt that the strength it had showed earlier and now were completely different. The little red pig said, Master, don't you worry. I don't have any unsustainable injury or illness, it's just that I need to replenish my strength with a good rest after a fight. You have to believe me that when I rested enough I will be even more powerful. It pointed itself with its tiny feet and said, If Master did not wake me up while I'm recuperating, I would not be so angry earlier. Mu Qian asked, Then how long do you usually sleep? The little red pig smiled and said, It isn't that long actually, just 10,000 years. What? Mu Qian almost slapped the pig to its death. She exclaimed, After sleeping for 10,000 of years, don't tell me that you've only reached the holy beast level. Are you recuperating or simply slacking her? The little red pig laughed innocently. Wow. Master is so powerful. How did you know everything? In fact, you're right, I am lazy. Mu Qian's face is full of black lines. She pulled the little pig's ears and said, Ju Yi, this pig is too unreliable. Can I return it? Ju Yi faintly said, Millimeter, if it can't protect you then you can roast it to eat. The little red pig shuddered with horror. It hurriedly assured Mu Qian, Master, after I'm healed, I won't be lazy anymore. Why you must not eat me? What did I do to deserve this? The first beast that she made a pact with was not only good at selling Meng and but also eating beast cores, nothing else. Tien, Meng means acting cute, while this one, who have thrown a variety of attacks earlier, was a complete dunce. Tien, MQ is saying that little piggy is a erhuo, which is slang for foolishly cute person. Mu Qian asked once again, What kind of beast are you exactly? Do you have a name? Ha ha ha. I'm not a spirit beast but The little red pig smiled and was about to give his ident. Tai but suddenly closed his mouth almost immediately. Its heartbeat jumped wildly. Fortunately, it did not say its name, else Master wouldn't want him anymore and the devil behind him would surely make a stew out of him. Own too. I have slept for too long. I don't know what kind of beast I am either. I don't even remember my name anymore. The little red pig showed a sad expression. A dark light flashed in Mu Qian's eyes. This little guy must be a demon. Tien, not to be confused with the literal demon we know. In here MQ is referring the little pig as a demon, Gui, or alternatively translated as monsters. Born when an animal, plant, or even an inanimate object absorbs spiritual energy over a long period of time and then gains spiritual awareness. Not inherently evil, although many have antagonistic relationships with humans. However, since it had already signed a slave contract with her, she's not afraid no matter what kind of beast it is. Its life is within her hands after all. Mu Qian said, Since you are anxious about your name, how about I give you a new one? Is it all right with you? The little red pig raised its feet. Master, please bestow me a name. Mu Qian laughed. I'm naming you Xiaohong. How is it? It's easy to remember, right? Tien, Xiaohong means little red, PFT. Woody laughed uncontrollably. It's master, it truly a genius when it comes to names. It's really spot on. For him, the name Woody Tianxia is truly living up to his glory. So unique and unmatched. Thud. Xiaohong fell directly to the ground. It wailed once again. Master, are there any other options left? That's a sissy name. I'm a male. Male. Woo. Xiaohong felt the world is so unfair. No matter how sad he express himself, Mu Qian doesn't budge. Meanwhile, Mu Yi exclaimed. Lord. Look, there are a lot of spiritual jades over there. The explosions earlier broke out so many spiritual jades outside. Mu Qian smiled. It seems that the Shenyuan royal family are not so bad after all. After all, this is quite a generous amount indeed. Everyone. Let's proceed to the next step. Yes, Lord. After handling the veins, Mu Qian went inside her carriage and Ju Yi came after, intending to go back together with her. Mu Qian asked. Ju Yi, how did you find me? I sensed the power of the Chaos Jiuzhong Pavilion going wildly as if it was in danger, so I came. Ju Yi faintly replied. Mu Qian knows that there is no way Ah Ting had a method to contact Ju Yi in a flash. Otherwise, Ju Yi wouldn't find her so quickly back then. I really appreciate what you did today. Mu Qian smiled. You don't need to thank me. A small flash of light glimmered in Ju Yi's eyes. Mu Qian nodded and helplessly said. Okay. On the other side, a fierce and arrogant person tries to usher himself inside the Mu Jia. A guard at the gate asked. Who are you to dare break inside the Lord's home? Get out of my way. Let Mu Qian she come out to see me. A violent voice came out. The Lord is out. If that's the case, then let Mu Wushuang know that we're here to see him. Another somber voice was heard. Afterwards, a gentle jade-like voice Pares said over. Ouyang Jia's second young master, Ouyang Xiong, and the disciple of the fire sect, Ji Kai. Why did you two suddenly want to visit us in our humble abode? Is there any matter? Mu Wushuang in a wheelchair was slowly pushed out by a shadow. His white robe that has no stain or dust, coupled with his jade-like appearance, was truly pleasing to the eye. Ji Kai, full of disdain with Mu Wushuang, rudely asked. You are Mu Wushuang? The man in front of him has his 2 legs crippled, his eyes were both blind, yet his unique charm is still there, simply making ordinary people ashamed. Yes. Mu Wushuang's face is as calm as water. Ji Kai said. I heard that Mu Qian has a lot of medicines taken from the Ouyang clan. This Gongzi is in need of the said elixirs. Hand them all over to me. Hey guys. Guess who's back? Hope some of you still remember this novel. I tried to post this chapter way before, but I kinda forgot my Pares sword on this site, so it took too long for me to post this chapter. Also, what name do you readers want for the little pig? The Pinyin version, which is Xiaohong, or just the English version Little Red? Also, happy 1 year for Evil Wang pampers his ghost doctor FEI. One does not simply leave Elevena's things are hers only. That is precisely why I, as her uncle, won't let someone take her things without permission, let alone touch it. Mu Wushuang's voice suddenly turned cold and serious. Ouyang Xiong said with anger. Mu Qian, she is despicable and utterly brazen. She used my sister's life as a threat and took almost all of our clan's elixirs. As a promising master of my family, I have the rights to take it all back today. If you know what's best, better give it all back to me this instant. Ji Kai, who was full of himself, added. Hey. You, Mu people already angered me by helping the royal family to get the Huangluo pellet. Just take out all of your elixirs and give it to me. I will take it as a compensation for the troubles you've brought to me initially. Else, don't blame me what happens to your puny clan afterwards. Then why don't you? I, Mu Wushuang, am really eager to see you try. Mu Wushuang moved in front of Ji Kai and landed a blow. Mu Wushuang's attack directly hit the man, but Ji Kai, who has just entered the first stage of the Spirit King, can withstand it. Ouyang Xiong furiously yelled. Mu Wushuang. You actually dare to attack the fire sect third elder's disciple? Are you crazy? At this time, two old men suddenly appeared in front of Ji Kai, blocking Mu Wushuang's another blow. Boom! Three forces clashed together. A cold light flashed in Ouyang Xiong's eyes. Mu Wushuang offended the fire sect today. This small clan definitely won't survive in the future. These two were already at the peak of martial king and considered as the best in the fire sect. It was a fight to death. Each attack were delivered with the intent to kill. At the same time, the people of the Ouyang clan also started to make their move. As a result, a series of fight broke inside the Mu Jia. Half of the shadows went out with Mu Qian earlier, and now only half of them are left. Although each of them had advanced to the first stage of martial king, they still couldn't beat these people. Even if I die, I have to take a few of them to HELL with me. Just when Mu Shisan was about to self-destruct to burn these fools, a blue figure suddenly said in his eyes, a surprise which made him to make an abrupt stop. Tien, it seems these people can make their bodies explode. Like what Cell in DBZ had done? Yeah, I'm quite confused too. It was clearly the youth who doesn't have a heartbeat. He was alive. Why you? I knew it. You are with them. Kill him. Ouyang Xiong ordered. As they make their way to the youth in blue, his shadow was the only thing they saw. The youth's speed is extremely fast. Rumble. They aren't his opponents at all. The enemies seem to have learned of the youth's strength. One by one, they've started to corner the youth, reducing a lot of pressure from the shadows. When Mu Qian entered the city gate, she heard a lot of noises coming from the Mu Jia's direction. A raging fire flashed on Mu Qian's eyes. Damn it. Who is the fool who dares to cause trouble on my own home? Are they tired of living already? A purple figure together with a kitten and a piglet on her arms went towards the ruckus. When Mu Qian arrived, she saw a battlefield happening right inside her residence. She also saw her little uncle being besieged by two expert cultivators, which made her angrier. Fuck. This Mu Wushuang isn't at the peak of martial king at all. Is he really blind? Two martial kings dealing with a disabled person, isn't this supposed to be an easy feat? If this goes on, these two cultivators from the fire sect would lose all their reputation and fall into humiliation. Suddenly, a cold voice came out. Catch all these imbeciles for me. Ouyang Xiong harumphed. Mu Qian, you finally have the courage to appear. Ji Kai also turned to take a look at Mu Qian, and he had to say that this woman bears a charm and beauty that no man can resist. He felt a burst of wind brought flowers on his face, his eyes glimmer with delight. You are the lord of this clan, Mu Qian? Mu Qian confirmed. It is me. Aren't you supposed to explain first why you came here for trouble? Ji Kai looked at Mu Qian and said. You gave funds to the royal family that led me to lose the Huanglo pellet. This Gongzi came here to ask for compensation to settle this immediately, yet your uncle aren't willing to do so. Since you are the head of this clan, better give me what we came for so we can leave. Mu Qian blatantly said. Since you guys have no money to bid for the Huangluo pellet, when did that become my problem? You want my elixirs? Never. Ji Kai's gaze fell on Mu Qian's body. He raised a brow and said. If you don't take out your elixirs as compensation, then how about you use your body instead? He licked his lips and said. I didn't think that the Mu Jia's lord would be this. Before Ji Kai ended his words, a murderous attack was thrown in his direction. With its speed, the two expert cultivators simple cannot stop it. Ah! A deafening scream was heard after. Ji Kai's body has already flown far away. All the bones in his body were broken, no internal organs were intact. Cough. Cough. He vomited lots of blood until the end of his breath. He wasn't even given a time to eat a healing pill. Ji Shao. The two elders could only watch Ji Kai die in front of them. Their eyes went red. Tien, Shao means young. They roared. Mu Wushuang, how dare you kill our fire sect's top disciple, Ji Kai. This isn't over. You will soon taste the fire sect's revenge. These cultivators suspect that Mu Wushuang isn't just a martial king at all, his strength sing them is the proof. Staying here for any longer would only result to more casualty. They must hurry back to their sect and report this immediately. When they were about to retreat, a man akin to a devil suddenly appeared, leading a troop of bloody red skeletons behind his back, blocking their only way. The masked man, even if they were people from the outside, they knew how dangerous this person in front of them can be. Their faces all paled immediately, exclaiming, "Your Royal Highness." Ju Yi's cold voice said, "One does not simply leave. With orders from His Highness, Ju Yi, the bloody red skeletons start working like a bunch of grim reapers towards the fire sect and Ouyang's people, easily pulling the lives of the fire sects and Ouyang people until none is left. Ah! Don't kill me. Don't kill me." In the face of such a situation, Ouyang Xiong has long gone been silly and scared in the corner. He originally thought that with today's move, he can make the Mu Jiao suffer. He did not expect that the Night Prince's skeleton troop will suddenly appear. The horror happening in front of him and blood spilling almost everywhere filled him with intense chill on his body. Everyone was dead, the people from his clan and even the elders from the fire sect. The events today made his blood run cold, the horrifying images flooded his mind. Ouyang Xiong was as pale as a ghost. Thud. Like a dead pig, Ouyang Xiong fell flat on the ground. The bloody red skeletons were efficient. The enemies surrounding the Mu Jiao earlier were now wiped out. Afterwards, a blue figure flashed in front of Mu Qian. Ju Yi's face sank, and when he was about to unleash an attack to the youth, Mu Qian hurriedly said, "Ju Yu, don't do it." A pair of limpid black eyes looked straight at Mu Qian's eyes with ecstasy. Mu Qian asked, "What do you want?" He strange young man slowly said, "Medicine. I eat. RPG Kai." He only appeared for like 2 chapters. And OX. What are you exactly? Are you secretly a COC Croach? So hard to kill even for our MC, it's like he doesn't learn anything from the suffering he had before, or maybe he's just that dumb. Also, remember the man MQ saved before? The one who wore a woman's clothes. Wheel his back. The power of the Night Prince. The battle had consumed a lot of the youth's energy, and being his voice so quiet, it seems that his strength has also weakened. With today's confrontation with the Ouyang family together with the fire sect, Mu Qian knew the youth contributed the most. Hence, Mu Qian readily took out a bottle of elixir supplementing spiritual power to the youth in front of her, and with a smile, she said, "Here. This is for you." The youth took the bottle and, regardless of what's inside, directly downed it like a drink. Mu Yi and the other shadows smirked. They knew exactly what the youth would do. They are already used on seeing the youth's absurdity. After finishing one bottle, the youth clad in blue looked at Mu Qian once again with anticipation. His meaning was quite obvious at this point. He still wants more. Mu Qian let out a chuckle. She took out all of her elixirs and pressed it all to the youth's arms. She said, "If you like it very much, then you can have it all." Other people were shocked. In their opinion, this youth is already crazy, but what their lord has done is much more absurd. If they were to compare, only their lord would be this bold to hand so many precious elixirs to someone. After finishing all of it, the youth's facial expression still looks indifferent. 11er. Mu Wushuang called out, "Little uncle, are you all right?" "I'm fine. Those people can't possibly hurt me." Mu Wushuang shook his head. At this moment, the color of his eyes turned back to normal. He glanced at Ju Yi and said, "For today's matter, I thank His Highness, the Night Prince, for helping us back there." Ju Yi apathetically said, "She is my fiancée, naturally I'll help." Tien, he's saying the I here in a really haughty manner. LOL, a faint light flashed in Mu Wushuang's eyes. He retorted, "His Highness must be joking. Do you really think my Mu Jiao will take the imperial edict seriously?" Ju Yi seriously said, "Yes." 2 pair of cold and sharp eyes met, not saying a thing. While in fact, there is a silent war happening in between. "If you dare hurt or bring danger to 11er, I will make sure you'll regret coming to this world." At this point, Mu Wushuang's voice was neither as warm nor gentle as before, but instead stern and austere. "I don't need your reminder," Ju Yi coldly said. When his words fell, Ju Yi took his bloody red skeleton army and the unconscious Ouyang Xiong away. Housekeeper Bai tossed Ouyang Xiong's body to the Ouyang's household and said with a smile, "Ouyang Lord, Don't forget that my master is now the fiancé of Mu Qianxi. If Ouyang Lord continues on acting against the Mu Jiao, my master would eradicate your whole clan to existence. This is a warning, please heed my words carefully. Ouyang Ju's hands has long been sweating and trembling. With a fake smile he said. This lord will surely listen to housekeeper Bai's words. Ouyang Ju didn't expect that with the emperor's imperial edict, Mu Qian did not end up dead while being engaged to the notorious Night Prince, and the most terrible thing is that the Night Prince even became her backing. If he were to compare, Ju Yi would be 100 times worse than Mu Wushuang. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. At this moment Ouyang Xiong opened his eyes and shouted in panic. All medicine did not work on pacifying Ouyang Xiong's fear. Ouyang Ju knew his son. Ouyang Xiong was completely traumatized. On the other hand, without any warning, Ji Kai's body was plopped inside the fire sect. The third elder of the fire sect who had lost a loved one wanted to go to the Mu Jiao to avenge his disciple. With grief and indignation his feeling, he knew that with Mu Wushuang's level he would win. Even if the royal family does not support going against Mu Wushuang, he felt there is nothing to fear. But upon hearing the warning the Ouyang clan got from housekeeper Bai through the Yi clan, the third elder dare not move. The lord of the Mu Jiao is now the fiancé of the Night Prince. If you dare move against the Mu Jiao, then our fire sect will be destroyed. The sect leader hurriedly tried to persuade the third elder on acting rashly. He said again and again, "Don't be too rash. Do you all want us to die?" The third elder couldn't help but shout. "What about my disciple? Is my disciple's life insignificant to you? Are you saying I should just leave them be after all they've done to him? I understand what you're saying, but for the time being, we can't mess with the Mu Jiao, especially with Shenyuan Juyi on her side," the sect leader said. The second young master of the Ouyang clan became stupid, while the sect leader of the fire sect surprisingly decided to let the matter go. After a storm comes calm. In addition to some damaged buildings, the Mu Jiao's state once again returned to its former glory. Mu Qian she continued her days on refining medicines, cultivating her strength and making money. On this day, she had just finished concocting a pot of elixir when a cyan figure appeared beside her, drooling while looking at the cauldron. Mu Qian's mouth twitched. She asked, "Do you want to drink it?" The youth nodded and said, "Yes." After watching the youth for a few days, Mu Qian finally knew that this guy doesn't need to eat nor drink water. The only thing that keeps him alive is through medicines. "Here." Mu Qian gave him the whole cauldron of elixir. The youth directly swallowed its contents. Meanwhile, Mu Qian took another bottle out and handed it to him. She said, "Here, take this also." Apparently, the vial of the new elixir looks unique to the youth. He only looked at it with caution. Seeing that, Mu Qian opened the bottle and let the youth smell first its scent. In a flash, the youth's natc had the bottle on her hand and downed it in a blink. "Glug glug. A really weird man." Mu Qian asked, "What's your name?" The youth shook his head and said, "I don't know." Mu Qian asked again, "Do you plan to stay here?" "I'll follow you. When I'm with you, there are medicinal pills to eat and elixirs to drink and I won't fall asleep. If I'm without you, I'll surely be asleep somewhere again." The youth finished his words stiffly. Mu Qian froze. "You actually rely on medicines as your energy." No wonder he fell asleep before after fighting with the Ouyang guards. It turned out that the effects of the elixirs he consumed were almost depleted. Mu Qian laughed. "You can stay, I can let you eat and drink enough medicines, but I have a condition." "Say it." "I want you to listen to me. If I ask you to fight someone, do it. Remember this clearly, if someone wants to hurt my family, you have to protect my family at all cost." The youth's fighting ability is very strong, and Mu Qian suspects that the stronger the medicine he consumes, the greater his fighting powers would be. There is nothing bad about having another strong comrade. She felt that even if she tried to drive the youth away, he wouldn't budge a bit. "Since you don't remember your name, then I'll call you Qingying. Do you like it?" Mu Qian asked. "Qingying. Millimeter, I like it." The youth nodded. Tien, Qingying means young shadow. The Mu Jiao has gained another powerful ally. Although the amount of elixirs he consumes every day can make the royal family cry, Mu Qian didn't care. Qing Ying only needs medicines, and as an alchemist, she can causally make it anytime she wanted. She has an overwhelming amount of raw materials anyway, she can still afford to keep him. In the meantime, Mu Yi handed a letter to Mu Qian. He said, "Lord, the Yun clan delivered an invitation letter to you." Mu Qian, who is slightly surprised, said, "The Yun clan, who has always been low-key? What are they trying to do now?" In the invitation letter, it says that in order to let the talents of the Purple Moon Kingdom compete and promote with each other, the list of geniuses must be re-ranked. This would also help others to have an opportunity to be on that list. Mu Qian, she defeated the Crown Prince, Shenyuan Li Shong, who ranked first in the geniuses list. Naturally, she was invited to partake. IP 8 on this year's ranking. Mu Qian folded the letter and casually said, "Send my reply to Yun Shinran. This lord is bored, so I'll play with them." "Yes, my lord." "Hey guys. Did you miss me?" "Of course not," is what you'll say, right? Haha, Tilda, thank you all for being patient with me. I feel that my English is kinda improving, or is it not? Well, just like I've said before, I'm no native English or Chinese speaker. These translations are all MTL tilde, so if you don't want to read it, no one is forcing you. 3 anyways, gonna update this again cause I have the time now. No regular days, but I'll update from time to time. Also, every time I include the "yes, my lord" here, I remember Sebastian Michaelis. Genius Rankings. Jinwutang is now hosting another compet. Taion, the Purple Kingdom's Genius Ranking. It doesn't matter if the person is a noble or not, as long as they're under 30 years old, they can come and partake. IP 8 on the said event. At this time, the most popular contestant is none other than the lord of the Mu clan, Mu Qianxi. The preparation for the preliminary is done, but the owner of the Jinwutang has received a certain guest. "I want you to arrange me on a match with Mu Qianxi." "What? You want to fight Lord Mu?" The owner thought that the young lady would be beaten easily before. But now almost every contestant wants to avoid being matched with her. Never did he imagine that someone would take the initiative to ask him this. Jinwutang's owner said, "Of course, I can." The woman's eyes flashed with resentment. "Mu Qianxi, even if I lose, I won't let you go." On a sunny day, the preliminary round was set in Jinwutang. The top 10 on the previous list automatically qualifies on the next round. Naturally, Mu Qian, who defeated the first on the list, would be excluded on the preliminaries as well. The preliminary was very fierce. The second master of the Yu clan won and is now qualified to go on the next round. Brother, Ipares said. Yu Shu eagerly said. Yu Zi laughed. Millimeter, you did great. 29 people were selected to partake. IP 8 to the next round. The top 10 geniuses and Mu Qian arrived at the scene, and the lottery for people who will fight next already began. An unlucky guy saw his opponent's name and immediately wanted to cry. "No. Why is my luck so bad?" Mu Qian would be his next opponent. His ability is only in the 6th stage martial warrior. Compared to Mu Qian, he won't even last a minute. At the very beginning of the match, he directly gave up. Mu Qian's second opponent is Yu Shu. Yu Zi was thrilled. "Little Shu, good luck." On the arena, Yu Shu looked helplessly towards Mu Qian. Mu Qian laughed. "Yu Shu, the last time we fought you let me do 3 moves first. This time how about I reciprocate your kindness and let you do 3 moves first?" Yu Shu said. "Are you sure? You don't have to underestimate your enemy." Mu Qian said. "It's fine. Yu Shu, okay, I'll do it." Since Mu Qian said he can do 3 moves first, Yu Shu, filled with confidence, is ready to seize this opportunity to land a blow using all of his strength. At the same time, Yu Shu did not see the look of sympathy his elder brother is giving him. The gap on their strength are too wide. Even if leader gave him a chance to attack first, landing a blow is another matter. "Here I go." Yu Shu's body looks moved like a beast, rushing on towards Mu Qianxi. Boom! With a loud noise, Yu Shu missed the target. Yu Shu grits his teeth and said again. "Another one." Boom. "This is the last. I don't believe that my attacks would not reach you." In Yu Shu's last move, he poured all his strength. It's a pity that the difference in their strength is too great. The purple figure flashed by. Mu Qian approached Yu Shu and smiled. Little Shu, the 3 moves are over. It's time to end this. Ah. Yu Shu's figure flew outside the arena. The crowd was flabbergasted. Strong. The Mu clan's lord is getting stronger and stronger. First stage of Spirit Master, in the entire Purple Moon Kingdom, she is the first who reached that realm before the age of 16. It looks like she would take the first on the list this time. Mu Qian returned at her waiting area and said helplessly. It's boring here. There is no use on betting myself either. I can't even make money anymore due to the low odds are. Jin Wutang is getting on my nerves. Yu Ziyi said. That's to be expected, many people are betting in you. If Jin Wutang doesn't raise the bar on the other side of the bet, they would eventually go bankrupt. After 2 more rounds, 10 people finally reached the semifinals. Because of Mu Qian entry, the previous 10th in place was kicked out. The other 9 people had maintained their slots. This time the fight for the Genius List ranking is overwhelming. Soon, the result for the drawing lots was announced. First match, Mu Qian Shi against Ouyang Wei. Ouyang Wei once defeated the old Mu Qian and rendered her useless in the same arena before. The old Mu Qian's strength was inferior, and no matter what she did she couldn't win against Ouyang Wei. But now, Mu Qian's strength has improved in leaps and bounds, naturally the ending have been already guessed. Mu Qian glanced at Ouyang Wei and said, "Do you want to go down yourself or would you like me to send you down?" Ouyang Wei angrily said, "Mu Qian Shi, don't be too proud of yourself. Do you really think you have won by now?" Boom. At this point, Ouyang Wei's spiritual power erupted completely. The crowd was amazed. I did not expect that the eldest miss of the Ouyang clan has a hidden card left. Her strength must have been improved by a lot. Ouyang Wei's voice echoed on the raging fire. It burned tremendously until a lightning sword came out and fell from the sky. World/TN, enter Dio's the world meme. To deal with Mu Qian Shi, it was necessary to land a stronger attack first. If this landed on her, the chance of her fighting back would be 0. Mu Qian waved her hand gently. Water shield. The lightning sword was blocked by the water. This is the gap between a spiritual master and a spiritual warrior. Miss Ouyang couldn't possibly win. Yeah, not everyone is as aberrant as Mu Qian Shi. Just look at her speed of cultivating. Mu Qian's strength was beyond Ouyang Wei's expectations. Ouyang Wei gnashed her teeth. She is not willing to lose. I refuse to lose. Even if she died, Ouyang Wei would pull Mu Qian to HL. Ouyang Wei flew towards Mu Qian Shi again. Mu Qian waved another water shield, condensed another qi and attacked the rushing Ouyang Wei. Scatter. Icicle rain. In the face of Mu Qian's attack, Ouyang Wei could not escape. Her whole body continued on heading towards Mu Qian Shi's direction. Ouyang Wei's clothes were torn open, revealing a fine gold armor. What the? It turns out she's wearing an artifact. Miss Ouyang is still approaching Lord Mu. Is she going to for a close combat? Ouyang Wei made a sharp wind on her palm. She closed the distance between her and Mu Qian Shi, and started to fight intensely. However, fighting hand-to-hand proves Ouyang Wei's abilities is still inferior. Ag. Mu Qian struck Ouyang Wei's back of the neck that knocked her out to the ground. Ouyang Wei struggles to get up, said. I haven't lost yet. Ouyang Wei rushed once more like a madman, attacking Mu Qian Shi again and again. With scars surrounding her body, how could Ouyang Wei just continue on fighting without a plan? Obviously, she had come up with a plan. There was a glint on Mu Qian's eyes. When Ouyang Wei attacked her a few more times, a colorless and transparent powder spilled out of her hands. The two were fighting close at each other, but as an alchemist, how could she miss such a thing? Mu Qian knew what kind of powder it is. Cheating her way to this match, Mu Qian will surely send Ouyang Wei to her death. Ouyang Wei really wants to die early, eh? Oh make. Being seen HH. Water dragon / Ouyang Wei's body was washed away by a blue dragon. Mu Qian's figure flashed, and when she was about to attack Ouyang Wei once again, everyone was surprised that the eldest miss of the Ouyang clan, who was always proud, suddenly said, I give up. Jin Wutang's referee shouted. The opponent has given up. May Lord Mu step back. Right now, Ouyang Wei, who was stunned and fell on the ground, smiled and said, Mu Qian, you're so dead. Are you sure about that? Mu Qian raised her eyebrows slightly, gently moving her fingers, and then a small needle suddenly pierced through Ouyang Wei's skin. Ouyang Wei only felt a slight sting. She did not feel anything abnormal. She proudly said, Mu Qian, it won't take long for you to find out. Oh, is that so? Mu Qian bent down and whispered. But Ouyang Wei, playing poison with this lord, how naive can you get? Ouyang Wei widened her eyes and said inconceivably, how did you know? Ouyang Wei suddenly thought of something, and laughed maniacally, even if you notice it, it's too late. It's impossible for you to cure it. Mu Qian calmly walked down the arena, she smirked. That's why I said, you are too naive. Mu Qian returned to her room. Yu Zi immediately ran to her side and asked, Leader, what did that Ouyang Wei do to you? How could she laugh like that back there? Nothing, it's just, at this moment, a dark figure inexplicably appeared inside the room. Icy blue eyes fell on Mu Qian and asked, what's wrong? Mu Qian said, it's a drug that stimulates Se-Zul desire. Commonly, this drug has no antidote, unless, Yu Zi was so angry. Ouyang Wei actually used such means in the compet. I tie on. What would you do, leader? She said that drug has no solution. Mu Qian calmed down a bit, she said. Aren't you listening to me? I said this drug commonly had no cure. She took out a few medicine bottles, and then mixed several medicines together, then injected it on herself using a needle. She said, this kind of petty trick won't work on me. Yu Zi breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. Leader is really powerful, even drugs without solution can be solved by her easily. He glanced at the opposite room and asked, Leader, what about Ouyang Wei? Are we going to let her go just like this? A flash of cold light flashed in Mu Qian's eyes. Relax, she'll definitely be in a worse state than me. Poisoning the ghost doctor, Ouyang Wei definitely lifted a stone and hit her own feet. Tien, it means want to harm other person, but harm oneself instead. Ouyang Wei, who had just been treated by a pharmacist, suddenly ripped off her clothes. Sounds of tearing filled the arena. Not only that, but she also entangled herself on the 50-year-old pharmacist, jumping on the poor man. Miss Ouyang, stop. Please conduct yourself. The pharmacist was almost frightened to death. He hurriedly pushed Ouyang Wei away, rushing forward to escape. Don't go. Ouyang Wei was already unconscious at this point, stripping some of her clothes. All the audience was stunned when they saw this scene. What's going on? What happened to Miss Ouyang? As soon as Ouyang Wei felt the breath of the opposite sex, she threw herself over. Give it to me. Boom. For a time, the entire Jinwutang was turned upside down. Ouyang Wei, who was almost caught, had cornered some people earlier. Seeing Ouyang Wei's luscious body, added the fact that not everyone is a gentleman. Since this beauty threw herself to them, why bother to resist? Some couldn't help but took advantage of the situation. Ouyang Wei tore and pulled her clothes completely, and started to hunt prey like a wolf. There are a lot of famous and precious No bulls that gathered here in the capital. Seeing Ouyang Wei's bold behavior, not only did she ruin her innocence, she even lost some face for her clan as well. Ouyang Ji, filled with fury, shouted, Ouyang Wei, are you out of your mind? Just calm down and don't embarrass yourself any further. Unexpectedly, Ouyang Wei pounced directly at him, and Ouyang Ji had to let the guards knock her out in order to take her back to their residence. After a good fight among geniuses, such an accident happened. Everyone is still shocked. In any case, the compet Tion must go on. The top 5 will be selected today. Ouyang Ji, who was depressed by Ouyang Wei's actions earlier, has long been distracted since his match. In addition, the person he fought was Yu Zi. Not only was he defeated, but his leg was even broken badly. Ouyang Ji said indignantly, Yu Zi, how can you act so cruel? Yu Zi retorted, if you know what your good sister has done to others, then you'll know I'm not the one who's ruthless. Yu Zi's eyes were cold. Ouyang Wei dared to set up a trap to his leader. If it wasn't for this compet Tion, He would definitely kill this Ouyang-ji. Ouyang-ji was carried out and the next 3 matches were set. The top 5 are Mu Qian-shi, Yu Ziyi, Mu Ruyan, Shenyuan Qingyun, and Wen Xinran. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, who was originally the first in the previous genius list, was unable to harm a single hair of his beloved woman, Mu Ruyan. He admitted defeat very quickly. Mu Ruyan, who looked distressed, said to Shenyuan Li Shong, "This. I didn't intend to." Shenyuan Li Shong appeased her and softly said, "I'm willing to lose to you, so don't feel bad, Ruyan." Woo woo. Mu Ruyan kept crying. "I won't let you down. For tomorrow's match I promise you I'll win and bring the honor back that should belong to you." Mu Ruyan clenched her first. "But Mu Qianxi is too strong," Li Shong said. Today, Mu Qianxi showed that she is stronger than when he first confronted her. He knew that no one is her opponent now. "I know that I'm not an opponent for 11er, but for Brother Li, I'm willing to try." "All right. I believe Ruyan will definitely win. Help me clean up my name." At the end of UZE's match, Mu Qian has already taken a stand and went home, she ordered. "Quickly prepare cold water for me." "Yes, my lord." Mu Qian stripped off her clothes and soaked her entire body to cold water. Although she took medicine to cure the drug, there are still signs of toxicity left. This can only be eliminated by soaking in cold water overnight. When Mu Qian had just stepped into the tub, the air around her suddenly became cold, and a man akin to a demon suddenly appeared inside her room. "Come out." He spit out those 2 words coldly. Mu Qian's mouth twitched. "Juyi, I'm taking a bath. How am I supposed to get out?" Juyi does not like anyone disobeying his orders, even if that one is the most special to him. "Tien, this is one of his bad traits that I really don't like." "Ah." The black figure flickered. Juyi stretched out his hands to pull Mu Qian out of the tub. Crash. A lot of water splashed in the room. In front of his eyes, her skin looked like the highest quality of jade. Juyi suppressed the emotion emerging from deep within. Mu Qian was truly ashamed of this iceberg's behavior. She didn't care how dangerous he was. She slapped him directly, yet her hand was easily caught by Juyi. Juyi is really annoying on this chapter. Like, dude. Come on. She's taking a bath. No Zu no die. Chapter 114 Bathing Together You. Mu Qian stared at him angrily. Juyi's eyes fell on her flushed face. He said, "Wait for me to take off the mask before you hit again." His mask is invulnerable, no fire or liquid can melt it. It was made of the hardest metal under the heaven and earth. If her slap really hit him, it wasn't his face that would be swollen but her hand instead. Mu Qian was stupefied. This guy is so honest that she lost the mood to reward him with a slap. "Juyi, close your eyes, otherwise I would really be tempted to poison you." What's with this person? He still looks cold and indifferent even when taking advantage of other people, which leave Mu Qian extremely helpless. This time, Juyi really closed his eyes, took his robe and wrapped it over Mu Qian, taking her away. Mu Qian shouted, "Juyi, where are you taking me? At least let me get dressed." "No need, besides you have to take it off later," Juyi whispered. Mu Qian's hair was disheveled with the wind. What on earth does Juyi want to do? She knew Juyi doesn't have human feelings that normal human has. He's so cold to the point that she couldn't think she is interested in her body. Juyi held Mu Qian and took her into his palace's backyard. It was a place shrouded in white mist. He gently put Mu Qian down. Mu Qian said in consternation, "This is a cold spring." Earlier, Mu Qian decided to remove the toxicity by soaking in the tub the whole night. If you soak in this cold spring, it would only take half hour and your physique would also improve as well. Mu Qian said, "Thank you. Soaking throughout the cold water all night can make oneself uncomfortable." Plop. Mu Qian jumped straight into the water. She thought the cold temperature might freeze even the blood. Mu Qian couldn't help but shudder, but it was still within the tolerable range. Besides, she successfully soaked in the spirit lake to wash the impurities on her body and survived after all. But what irked her most is not the cold temperature but the irritation before her eyes. Juyi also undressed and walked slowly into the cold pool. His long ink-like hair slowly scattered down, and the water droplets radiates a crystal-like luster on his delicate shoulders. The water is very clear, and his body submerged under the water is captivating. Exquisite facial features, beautiful and alluring. Even if his whole aura is coated with a layer of frost that no one can enter, it still can cause confusion. What an Avildor are. Why did you come down? Mu Qian's voice shivered. To accompany you. Juyi spit out these 3 words. With her perseverance, the coldness is nothing. Yet Juyi said he stayed to accompany her. That is unnecessary. The water here is too cold. You should go back and wait for me to finish. Taking a bath with the Ashura prince is not for the faint-hearted. Mu Qian felt her heart is jumping out of her chest at this very moment. As a result, Juyi only leaned himself on the side, looking so incomparably sexy, then gently closed his eyes, while disregarding Mu Qian's words completely. Mu Qian also closed her eyes, took a deep breath in order to calm herself. It was only half an hour anyway. Due to the unusual person beside her, Mu Qian even thought half an hour was longer than a night. The remaining poison in her body was finally cleared. Mu Qian felt comfortable all over, and she said cheerfully, Juyi, I'm fine now, will you go out first or me? A splashing sound came. Juyi slowly walked out of the pool like how he was on a flat ground. With perfect curves, slender legs, well-defined abdominal muscles, and snow-like skin, he definitely looks like a son of the heaven. Juyi took a dark robe from his own space, wrapped his sculpture-like body, and disappeared in front of Mu Qian like the wind. Mu Qian grudgingly said, I know you have a good figure, you don't always have to show it. Fortunately, this lord is not a man, otherwise you will be no longer chaste. Mu Qian's voice is very small, but Juyi has not left at all. He heard her clearly. His icy blue eyes sank suddenly, and even a faint expression of pleasure flashed, and the corner of his mouth slightly evoked an arc. Mu Qian took out a spare dress from her water dragon ring and put it on quickly. She then went to Juyi to say goodbye. I initially thought that I'll be busy detoxifying the whole night. Luckily, I got rid of it in the cold spring so quickly. I will now go see the situation of Ouyang Wei. For that kind of poison, Mu Qian felt that with only the Ouyang clan's ability it still wouldn't be enough. She felt uncomfortable that Ouyang Wei could come up with this kind of insidious trick. There is definitely a pair of hands behind Ouyang Wei, pushing her to dig a big hole for Mu Qian. I'll also go. Juyi took Mu Qian and left the Night Prince's palace. As soon as they left, Mu Qian felt something was wrong. Juyi, this is not the direction to go to the Ouyang's residence, that woman isn't there. What do you mean she's not home? Do you mean Ouyang Wei's family isn't optimistic on her condition that they really let her out on her own? Aren't they afraid of her running into some indecent men on the streets? After a while, Mu Qian and Juyi went into a cold alley where Ouyang Wei is. Ouyang Wei is now surrounded by a group of beggars. Her breathing was ragged. A pair of hands blocked Mu Qian's eyes. Afterwards those beggars was turned into bones until they turned to ashes and swept by the wind. It's just that there is a very bad smell lingering in the air that makes Juyi frown slightly. Sob, sob. No other people was left apart from her. Ouyang Wei felt discomfort on her whole body. She then slowly crawled out of the alley. Ouyang Wei sensed a presence in front of her. Upon lifting her eyes, she saw the woman she hated. Mu Qian. Mu Qian, while cursing Mu Qian inside, she saw another person beside her. Night Prince. Ouyang Wei was truly terrified. Although her legs are now weak, she tried to run as if seeing a ghost. Ouyang Wei directly fell to the ground and could no longer walk. At this time, Mu Qian walked slowly to Ouyang Wei. Do you want to have a deal with me? Tell me who instructed you at our fight and I will let someone send you back to the Ouyang clan. Otherwise, if you continue staying here until morning, news would spread all over the capital regarding you tomorrow. Ouyang Wei shouted terribly. Who are you acting kind for? The reason why I ended up like this, isn't it because of you? You, tell me what you did to me, Mu Qian said. Remember the poison you gave to me? Naturally, I'll send it back to you 10 times stronger. But, why are you still okay? You aren't poisoned at all. Why am I the unlucky one? Why only me? Ouyang Wei saw Mu Qian's state, her hope collapsed. Did I disappoint you? Looks like my poison is clearly higher than yours. Mu Qian said faintly. I don't believe it. That's impossible. He clearly said that his poison can't be detoxified except with the help of a man. Your body would keep asking for men and would no longer live without doing it for the rest of your life. Chapter 115. A sudden bang resounded. Ouyang Wei's body directly flew out by the powerful force. Ouyang Wei, who was already weak, was continually coughing out blood. Her already fleeting life would have been lost if it weren't for Mu Qian. Zhu Yi truly wanted to turn Ouyang Wei into a skeleton just now. If he succeeded, Mu Qian wouldn't know about the person behind that incident anymore. Night Prince. You already did it with His Highness, right? Else, how could you easily solve the effects immediately? It turns out that you two are already in a close relationship. No wonder His Highness protects you so much, even your own clan. No wonder my poor clan. Ouyang Wei's voice is cold. If she knew that Mu Qian and the Night Prince are this close already, she wouldn't dare lay a trap for Mu Qian, not at all. Not in a million chances would they dare cause trouble if they knew. If she states her reasons now, they would never buy it. It is too late for that now. Mu Qian coldly said. Tell me, who is that person? As long as you tell me, except for the other people who made a move like you, I will leave them without a scratch. It's Ouyang Wei's voice broke, something was shot straight at her throat. Swish. Zhu Yi caught a black dart. Ouyang Wei screamed. A black bug broke through her heart and jumped out. She widened her eyes in disbelief and muttered. You! Why did you do this? Mu Qian quickly moved away, she said coldly. This disgusting grub. Squeak. Mu Qian took out a bottle and sprayed it on the grub, its body completely dissolved. On the other hand, the Sin, unable to escape from Zhu Yi's clutches, directly took poison and killed himself. Ouyang Wei is dead. Mu Qian's only clue was broken. Mu Qian said. There's nothing we can do here. I will go home first. I'll send you back. Zhu Yi followed Mu Qian and left. The next day, in the capital of Purple Moon Kingdom, Ouyang Wei's corpse was found in a corner. All kinds of rumors came out, making the Ouyang people unable to raise their heads while walking outside. Ouyang Zhu, filled with rage, shouted. Despicable. Even if she died in Immerse's grave is better. How can she let herself be killed on the streets? How dare she discredit the family's name? Ouyang Zhi hurriedly said. Father, it's not my sister's fault. It must be Mu Qian she who has done it. There's so many of us guarding sister before, how could she escape here if it wasn't for that Mu Qian she? Ouyang Zhu shouted. Imbecile. Mu Qian is now the fiancé of His Royal Highness the Night Prince. Who dares make a move on her would result in death. Is there any news on the Great Fire Sect? A trace of sadness flashed in Ouyang Zhi's eyes. The Great Fire Sect doesn't want to fight against Shenyuan Zhu Yi. They're terrible. The next day, the genius ranking continued and the 5 contestants left were already present. Each person will play against the other 4 in turn. Each win will count as a point. The person with the highest point will be ranked first, consequently until remaining rank is set. The first match is between Mu Qian Shi and Yu Ziyi. Obviously, when the match of the two was announced, one would know the result right away and so no bets were made. The absolute winner will be Mu Qian Shi. Sure enough, as soon as Yu Ziyi stepped inside the arena, he admitted defeat. You don't want to compete with your leader? Mu Qian asked. Yu Ziyi laughed. I don't want to fight and I also don't want to be beaten badly by leader. Admitting defeat is my best choice. Since the other already said it. Mu Qian scored a point without moving a single step. Her next match is with Shenyuan Qingyun. When the man's name was declared by the arbiter, Mu Qian takes a good look at the person in front of her. This was the first time she saw Shenyuan Qingyun clearly. He was tall and handsome. His perfect moon-white silk brocade wrapped his lean body. His Lus Strauss black hair was tied by a white jade hairpin, and his thick eyebrows looked like a crescent moon. Those eyes looked clear yet held no authority like other royalty does. A fine and elegant young man with indifferent eyes, just like a solitary orchid on a deadly desert. I admit defeat. This is his first sentence to Mu Qian. Mu Qian was taken aback for a moment. Uze is considered as her little brother and it was justifiable for him to admit defeat. But His Highness also admits his defeat without a fight. This is too unreasonable. Mu Qian asked. Do you mean it with your words just now? Yes. You are, 1, Xiaoju's fiancé, thus I will not fight you. He said lightly. His figure suddenly disappeared in the arena. Mu Qian froze. She felt that someone was misunderstanding about her being Ju Yi slight. Mu Qian's first 2 matches ended smoothly. Her last match was against Mu Ruyan. Mu Ruyan slowly entered the arena. She smiled softly. Elevener, I haven't seen you for a long time. Are you okay? Mu Ruyan, don't spout nonsense things. Let's hurry up and fight. Mu Qian made her move first. Someone wanted to use this genius ranking game to find an opportunity to kill her. Apart from Yu Ziyi and Shenyuan Qingyun, the only persons left were Mu Ruyan and the one who invited her to this event, Yun Xinran. Only after this fight would she have the time to properly investigate. If this is what Elevener wants, I must give my best too. Mu Ruyan said softly. Among the crowd, someone said. What do you think? Is there a chance Mu Ruyan would win? I heard that Miss Mu Ruyan followed a mysterious master and she hadn't been here in the capital for nearly a year. Maybe she has made a lot of progress. Let's just wait and see. Mu Ruyan turned into a white smoke, rushed towards Mu Qian. White mist surrounds the arena. Everyone was stunned. A spiritual element. Miss Ruyan also has an element. Shenyuan Li Shong looked at Mu Ruyan's shadow with pride. Ruyan's talent is the real deal. She who was rumored to be relying on elixirs has achieved this result on her own, not due to the things that Mu Qian spread just to discredit her. Mu Qian flew sideways to avoid Mu Ruyan's attack. An offensive water spell was already gathered at her hands. Mu Qian mercilessly attacked Mu Ruyan. Water Dragon Slash. At this time, countless white satin appeared, blocking Mu Qian's water dragon. Boom. A tremor sounded and 2 different forces confronted each other. 2 figures both backed away a few steps. What kind of weapon does Mu Ruyan have? It can actually block the water element attack of Lord Mu. It must be more than a 3rd grade spirit weapon. There are not many weapons of that grade here in the whole Purple Moon Kingdom. Miss Ruyan actually got one. What blessing. This time the match is worth seeing. Although Lord Mu has water element, Miss Ruyan, who has the same level as her as well as having a 5th grade spirit weapon, shouldn't be weak. Everyone was excited. They all focused on the fight below. Ha! Mu Ruyan's figure moved and the graceful figure danced like a fairy princess, leaving the crowd in astonishment. What a lovely view. Mu Ruyan's figure became more and more blurred in the white satin and multiple murderous attacks came from all directions. Mu Qian stood at the center of the vortex, her figure stood still, closed her eyes muttering to herself. Is this an illusion? Chapter 116. It's never clear what Mu Ruoyan learned from her mysterious master. Now she's finally exposed. Mu Qian's fingers moved, and countless medicinal needles flew out in all directions. Her illusions couldn't confuse her, and she just happened to use the medicine needle to break the surface. Rip and pull. The needles cut through Mu Ruoyan's white satin. Her spirit weapon was a 5th-grade spirit weapon, but the medicinal needles created by the senior alchemist, Huolaro, were sharp enough to break through the 5th-grade spirit weapon. There was no way for Mu Ruoyan to avoid the onslaught of needles from all directions. 8. A painful scream was heard, and the white satin fell down, and the crowd saw Mu Ruyan fall on the stage. When people saw Mu Ruoyan's miserable appearance, they all had a numbing feeling that Mu Jia's lord was really a ruthless character. At this time, Mu Ruoyan's body, hands, and feet were pinned to the tournament stage by 4 medicinal needles of varying lengths that penetrated through the bones. The positions of the hands and feet were very symmetrical, not deviating 1 iota, and the alignment was really beyond reproach. Mu Ruoyan did not shed a single drop of blood, but her face was blue with pain, and her pitiful appearance made all the men present look heartbroken. Shenyuan Li Shong roared, Mu Qianxi, you are so vicious. Sister. Sister. Mu Ruyun ran out crying and was worried about Mu Ruoyon. These two people portrayed their affection for Mu Ruoyon to the extreme, leaving the crowd deeply moved. Mu Qian pointed at Mu Ruyun and asked, "Do you want to go home and cry? As for you, Crown Prince, if you are still not convinced, you can go challenge this lord. Don't make a scene like Askank looking for trouble." Mu Qian glanced at Shenyuan Li Shong and scorned him. Mu Ruyun's face froze, and Shenyuan Li Shong's face turned green. "Mu Qianshi, don't be too arrogant." Mu Qian languidly said, "Your Highness, your debts are still unpaid and the deadline is approaching. I don't think you want me to take anyone to the East Palace to collect them, right?" Shenyuan Li Shong was speechless. For that debt he even sold a lot of things, but he still hasn't paid off everything. Now Mu Qian she has even brought it up again, making him furious. "I don't need to remind you that Ruoyon is in urgent need of healing, so I won't talk nonsense with you first." Shenyuan Li Shong hugged his sweetheart and left in a hurry. Mu Qian has won 3 games in a row, and there is only 1 game left. Mu Qian's last match was against Yun's young master, Yun Xinran. Yun Xinran, dressed in Hanfu clothing for scholars, slowly walked up to the tournament stage, and it was hard for the crowd to imagine that this seemingly scholarly and weak young man had made it to the top 5 in the young generation of the Purple Moon Kingdom. Compared to the royal princes and the 2 brothers of the Yu family, Yun Xinran's appearance can only be considered average. However, his elegant temperament, astonishing intellect, and high cultivation talent are very attractive to the women of the Purple Moon Kingdom, and has already become a role model for the young talents of the Purple Moon Kingdom. Mu Qian slowly greeted him, "Yun Xinran." Yun Xinran elegantly said, "It's an honor for me to fight with Lord Mu, and I hope Lord Mu will be more lenient later." A dark light flashed in Mu Qian's eyes. "If young Master Yun is unlike my previous foe, this lord will naturally show mercy, but if he is, what happens to Mu Ruoyon will also happen to you." Yun Xinran smiled faintly and said, "How could I be the enemy of Lord Mu? Lord Mu really knows how to make a joke." "Fine, let's stop talking and start the fight," Mu Qian said. Yun Xinran may not necessarily be the person behind Mu Ruoyon since she couldn't detect any murderous intent coming from him. "Good." Yun Xinran smiled readily and calmly. Suddenly, Yun Xinran's body was wrapped in a white light, emitting an aura that definitely did not resemble Mu Ruoyon's. The people's eyes showed astonishment. Although he was originally ranked 4th, they did not expect him to reach the peak of the 1st stage spiritual master already at his age. What a surprise! Young Master Yun is only 18 years old. Yun Xinran enthused, "If I want to win against Lord Mu, I have to do my best." Then, Yun Xinran's strength even increased once again, to the 2nd stage spiritual master. Yun Xinran's power skyrocketed to the limit, and with a leap and a swing of his palm, he attacked Mu Qian. "I didn't expect young Master Yun, who looked so weak, can make a wave aura so neatly and smoothly," the people exclaimed. Yu Zed's face paled. If Yun Xinran hadn't run into his leader today, they wouldn't have known that Yun Xinran was so powerful. Mu Qian didn't dodge, she even said, "You can't even defeat me with such little power." Water Dragon Slash. The water dragon tore through the void and struck Yun Xinran. Yun Xinran's figure swept past, dodging the blow, and smiled helplessly. "It seems that I really underestimated Lord Mu." He stood floating, and suddenly his palms transformed into somewhat thousands of hands, and a deep voice echoed. 10,000 Buddha hands. The hand of the 10,000 Buddhas thundered down, and even a 3rd stage spiritual master had to dodge it, not to mention Mu Qian, who is just a 1st stage spiritual master. The power of the 10,000 Buddhas is so imposing, but Mu Qian found a flaw. Her eyes flashed with a light. "Break it for me." The water drops turned into thousands, and Mu Qian's next move followed. Scatter. Icicle rain. The icy aura of water enveloped Yun Xinran, and Yun Xinran hurriedly dodged. Water Dragon Slash. But Mu Qianshi didn't want to give him a chance to breathe, and the attack came again. That water dragon attack is amazing. Boom. Boom. On the tournament stage, Mu Qian's attacks came one after another. The corners of people's mouths were twitching. Lord Mu's spiritual power is completely inexhaustible. It's too fearsome. I'm afraid the young master will be consumed alive. Under Mu Qian's chaotic attack, Yun Xinran was overwhelmed. He was about to concede defeat when suddenly a purple figure approached like the wind. If he tried to make any move, the cold and poisonous needles in her hand would be sunk into his lethal point. Yun Xinran's pupils suddenly shrunk. Mu Qian actually wanted to kill him. Boom. Under the threat of death, Yun Xinran's instinct to protect his own life allowed him to explode with his true strength. The violent spiritual energy bounced Mu Qian away, and Mu Qian's figure took a few dozen steps back in the air. The face of Yu Ziyi, who was watching the game, turned heavy at once. Third stage Spirit Master. How deep does Yun Xinran want to hide this? Everyone in the area was stunned. The young master of the Yun clan is really powerful. A third stage spiritual master under the age of 18 is considered one of the best in the entire Snow Continent in terms of cultivation. Why did he have to hide it so much? Chapter 117. Mu Qian said, "So this is your real strength." Yun Xinran nodded. "If Lord Mu hadn't pushed me so hard, Lord Mu could have easily won the compet. I tie on and gotten the top spot in the Purple Moon Country's talent rankings." Mu Qian waved her hand. "That's true, however, this lord prefers to beat you at your true strength in order to have a worthy win. Perhaps I will disappoint you, Lord Mu." Yun Xinran's figure approached Mu Qian with great speed, and slapped his palm with majestic spiritual power toward her. An opponent 2 steps above her struck with all his might, and this time Mu Qian chose to dodge, his spiritual energy shattering the tip of Mu Qian's dress. The situation was then reversed, and Yun Xinran, who had been caught and beaten by Mu Qian, was now able to catch up with Mu Qian. "Lord Mu, you are the only one who has pushed me, Yun Xinran, to this point in the past 18 years. The corner of Mu Qian's mouth curved slightly. "You want to win against me? It's not that easy." Mu Qian fiercely lifted her hand and countless needles flew out. This is how Mu Ruoyan was defeated. After the last battle, it became clear to them that Mu Qian's most lethal weapon was not her water elemental attack, but rather this bizarre small needle weapon, which was unstoppable. Even though the small needle attack was bizarre, the crowd saw the difference in their strengths. This small needle is powerful, but young Master Yun is much better than Mu Ruoyan. It's not that easy for Mu Qian to win, someone said. Faced with the sudden appearance of the needles, Yun Xinran's face was very calm and the wind from his palm whistled, slapping away Mu Qian's needle. However, when he slapped the needles away, smaller needles flew toward him like rain, and Yun Xinran's face changed dramatically and he hurriedly dodged. This set of needles that Mu Qian had the Fire Elder create is multifunctional. It can save lives, it can poison others, it can attack, and it can be used as a hidden weapon for sneak attacks. Boom. Boom. Yun Xinran hurriedly dodged and finally hit all the fine needles away. The crowd was stunned, saying, "Looks like young Master Yun has successfully dodged this attack." "Yeah, I guess." "Hey. No, take a look." At this time, a man spoke out. People saw a trace of blood slipping down from Yun Xinran's fingertips and saw that young Master Yun was injured. "It's just a small puncture wound, so it shouldn't be a problem." But as soon as the man's words fell, Yun Xinran's face suddenly turned pale. Puff. With one sound, a mouthful of blood was spat out and his lips began to turn purple. The ghost doctor's medicinal needles, after making even a small cut, can be fatal. The crowd was shocked. Whoa. Lord Mu won, even when young Master Yun's strength had increased to the 3rd level of spiritual master. Mu Qian said, "It seems that I have not yet won, as the young master has not conceded defeat." Mu Qian looked at Yun Xinran with a smile on her face, not missing his expression. Just at this time the master of the Jingwu Tang stepped forward and said, "As the referee of this match, I declare young Master Yun the loser. Take young Master Yun out for treatment." Although the master of the Jingwu Tang remained calm on the surface, Mu Qian could see the panic in his eyes. Mu Qian's expression darkened a bit. It seems that Jingwu Tang has a deep relationship with Yun Xinran. Otherwise, they would not have risked offending her by rescuing Yun Xinran in a timely manner. Mu Qian coldly snorted and walked off the stage. If he escapes this time, there is always a chance for Yun Xinran to show his true colors again. Mu Ruoyan lost her fighting power and so did Yun Xinran. The next match between Yu Ziyi and Shenyuan Qingyun is much simpler without these two opponents. In the final battle, Yu Ziyi faced Shenyuan Qingyun to take second place. Surprisingly, Shenyuan Qingyun is also very strong. Mu Qianxi and Yun Xinran aren't the only formidable geniuses in their Purple Moon Kingdom. It was inconceivable that he had the strength of a third-stage spiritual master. Faced with an opponent who was far superior to him, Yu Ziyi decided to give it his best shot. He was already too far behind his leader, and if he didn't fight well, he would be pulled further and further away from her, which was definitely something he was afraid of. Boom! The two figures crossed paths with each other. During the battle, Yu Ziyi frantically squeezed his own potential, and once again broke through to the 9th stage spiritual warrior. He is still under the age of 17, and with such strength, he can also be considered a top talent in the Purple Moon Kingdom. Bang! But the gap of 4 levels was inevitable, and in the end, Yu Ziyi was defeated by Shenyuan Qingyun. It is obvious, however, that Shenyuan Qingyun is very considerate towards the situation, and Yu Ziyi was only slightly injured. Soon, a new list of talents was released. Mu Qianxi received 4 points and is in first place. Shenyuan Qingyun received 3 points and is in second place. Yu Ziyi received 2 points and was in third place. As for the 4th and 5th places, after Mu Ruoyan found out Yun Xinran's true grade, she naturally did not dare to occupy the 4th place and had to give it to Yun Xinran. So young Master Yun still kept his old ranking. The Mu Jiao residence. Mu Qian took the information about Yun Xinran, frowned slightly and said, "The investigation of Yun Xinran that I asked for, only got this little information?" "Yes, Lord, I am incapable." Mu is very ashamed. Mu Qian waved her hand. "It's not your fault. Yun Xinran has been hiding the truth for so long, so it won't be easy to catch him. No one moves until the enemy does." "Yes, Lord." The top 10 talent ranking compet. Taion came to an end, and Mu Qianxi took the top spot. No one in the entire Purple Moon Kingdom would say that Mu Qianxi was a useless family head anymore, and the elders of the Mu Jiao also felt much more at ease. On the other hand, one of Yun Xinran's elder brothers from the Pill sect, a low-level alchemist, came to the Purple Moon Kingdom to cure Yun Xinran of his poison, and also to cure Mu Ruoyan. This low-level alchemist not only cured Mu Ruoyan but also seemed to fall in love with the woman who looked like a fairy at first sight, and almost had a major fight with the crown prince over the beauty. Surprisingly, Mu Ruoyan also has a high talent for alchemy. Apparently, this disciple is going to recommend the beauty to his own master as a disciple and become his junior sister to obtain an opportunity of getting closer to her. Shenyuan Li Shong is already dying of depression, but he has compensated many treasures of the Mu family for the beauty, and if the beauty is and head away by other men before he can get his hands on her, it would be a big loss, wouldn't it? In order to please the beauty, this alchemist has organized an alchemy exchange meeting at Purple Moon Lake. Anyone who is interested in alchemy can come to this event. He even invited the palace's chief alchemist, a man of mystery, to this event. He also boasted that he would someday be able to surpass the Medicine King. The news has spread very widely in the Purple Moon capital, and when Jun Moshi heard this news, he was so angry that he wanted to kill that arrogant and useless person at once. He approached Mu Qian and said, "Little girl, what is that exchange meeting? Do you want to come with me tomorrow to break it up? That punk. How dare he claim that he is better than me?" 1. Formerly Danji Zhong is now Pill sect for easier reading. Chapter 118. Mu Qian is still very righteous and without further ado said, "Okay, let's go and break it up. I'd like to see what that so-called genius alchemist of the Pill sect is all about." The fact that the Pill sect and Yun Xinran are good friends made it possible for them to test the alchemist and perhaps catch Yun Xinran's foxtail. In fact, she was going to go there regardless of whether or not Jun Moshi came. The next day, the Purple Moon Lake was bustling with activity. A gorgeous ship was docked in the middle of the water, and countless noblemen and ladies in gorgeous clothes were riding on exquisite bamboo rafts to the ship. They had no interest in alchemy, but they would never let go of the opportunity to get to know the disciple of a Pill sect. At this time, a noble and elegant purple figure and a man in white clothing approached the ship on a bamboo raft and slowly walked on it. Seeing them, the face of the white-clothed maid who was in charge of serving the guests instantly went cold. Mu Qianxi, Our Lady didn't invite you, so hurry up and get out. As Mu Ruoyon's personal maid, too, Xiao Dao despised the Mu Jiao's lord from the bottom of her heart when she met her 3 years ago. She believes that Mu Qianxi mistreated their miss, and now that the miss is being fought over by 2 excellent men, her self-confidence has grown. So what if Mu Qian was the #1 genius in the Purple Moon Kingdom? Is she better than the alchemist who adores the miss? For such a little girl who doesn't know how to behave, Mu Qian won't be polite to her either. Mu Qian kicked her right off. Good dogs shouldn't block the way. Does this lord need your permission to board her own ship? What more do I need from a little girl who doesn't know how to live? Dao. At this time, a panicked voice came over, and many people came out and noticed Mu Qian and Jun Moshi beside her. What a pair of incomparably handsome man and beautiful woman pair, people can't take their eyes off them. Hurry up and save Dao, hurry up. Mu Ruoyon's face was white with anxiety as she grabbed Jing Lianghui's sleeve. Naturally, Jing Lianghui would not let her worry, and hurriedly let her hand go down to rescue the person, but the maid was already unconscious when she was rescued. Mu Ruoyon's fingertips were somewhat white and trembled as she walked up to Mu Qian, speaking pitifully. Elevena, I know you've been angry with me, but it has nothing to do with Xiao Dao, so if you want to take it out on me, take it out on me. Why hurt an innocent person? She was like a white lotus that had been destroyed by the waves, and it was heartbreaking for Jing Lianghui to see her like that. Jing Lianghui said, Mu Qianxi, you are the head of a big clan. Bullying a weak woman, do you feel a sense of accomplishment about it? A pink-clothed Mu Ruyun also rushed over and pulled Mu Ruoyon. Sister, you should stay away from that sadistic woman in the future, or you will be badly hurt by her again. At this time, Shenyuan Li Shong and Shenyuan Li Tian also came out. Shenyuan Li Tian saw the man standing beside Mu Qian, his expression darkened. Damn, and this woman. She who hooked up with Yu Ziyi has another wild man with her today. This fickle and shameful woman. Jun Mo, she doesn't know that at this time he was labeled as a wild man. Mu Qian, she slightly raised her eyebrow, the corners of her exquisite mouth curved up in a wicked way, saying, then let me ask you, do you feel more accomplished by pleasing someone else's, 3, used broken shoes? Elevena, at this time Mu Ruoyon bit her lips in distress, revealing an expression of being heartbroken to death. Shenyuan Li Shong was angry. Mu Qianxi, you must not slander Ruoyon. There is no such thing as a sordid relationship between Ruoyon and me like you think. Mu Qian smiled and said, it seems that the crown prince really can't do it anymore. I was sure the rumors were false. The crowd was stunned when Mu Qian revealed a big secret. They were shocked. The crown prince, he really can't do it anymore? Shenyuan Li Shong's face became fierce. Mu Qianxi, you are looking for death. If he hadn't been unable to beat Mu Qianxi, he really would have wanted to slap her to death with one hand. What's with the noise? At this time, an old voice came over. A grey-robed old man appeared in front of everyone, and even Shenyuan Li Shong restrained his anger and respectfully greeted him with a shout, Master Peng, you've come. This was the chief alchemist of the palace, Master Peng. As soon as Master Peng came, all the young men and women of the Purple Moon Kingdom looked at him in adoration. This master is usually not easy to meet, even if you want to see him. The pill sect has a large number of alchemists who can only concoct second-grade pills. If it weren't for his great reputation in the Purple Moon Kingdom and Ruoyon's admiration for him, he wouldn't even bother to treat the old man with care. Mu Ruoyon finally regained her emotions and walked forward. Mu Ruoyon has met Master Peng. The exchange meeting is ready. Master Peng, please come in. Master Peng didn't care about this delicate young lady at all, and if he hadn't heard that the genius disciple of the pill sect was coming, he wouldn't have bothered to associate with these youngsters today. The storm just now, because of Master Peng's arrival, was automatically forgotten, and the people did not want to make a big deal out of it. One by one, they all wanted to enter the ship's cabin, but at this time, Jing Lianghui said, Lord Mu, although your cultivation talent is decent and your clan is big and powerful, you don't know anything about alchemy, so I don't welcome you at this exchange meeting. Little girl doesn't know anything about alchemy. What a joke. At this time Jun Mo chuckled as if he had heard a great joke. If the little girl doesn't know anything, I'm afraid that this useless person must be a nobody. This cold and charming man is like a fine work of art. His smile can be considered as being able to overturn a country, making all the women look dumbstruck. Jing Lianghui replied, "What you mean is that the Mu Jiao Lord, apart from being rich, also knows how to do alchemy." Mu Qian said, "So what if I do? What if I don't?" Mu Qian pointed at the ship in front of her and said, "This ship belongs to my Mu Jiao. If you don't dare to let this lord in, I'll have this ship blown up later. Let's see if you can still hold some kind of alchemy exchange meeting then." The crowd was astonished. Mu Qian, she was worthy of being the head of the Mu Jiao. It was too overbearing. Even the palace's chief alchemist was busy, hugging the young man's big thighs, but Lord Mu openly provoked him. Although Mu Ruoyan was removed from the Mu Jiao, she obviously had no self-awareness at all. As soon as Jing Lianghui said he was going to hold the pill exchange meeting, she kindly asked her grandfather, the Mu Jiao's great elder, to transfer one of the Mu Jiao's best ships over. Jing Lianghui raged, "Mu Qian, you're too much, too unreasonable." 1. Chinese idiom, visible sign of evil intentions, to reveal one's evil nature. 2. Her name's literal translation is Little Peach. 3. Literally means loose woman. 4. The meaning of this phrase is to signify someone trying to curry favor with someone else. Chapter 119. Mu Qian smiled faintly and said, "Thank you for the compliment." Jing Lianghui was so enraged that he was hurt internally, and it was the first time he encountered such a difficult person. At this time, Mu Ruoyan suddenly spoke up, "Jing, Gongzi, it's Ruoyan's fault. Ruoyan thought Elevenor wasn't interested in such things and didn't send her an invitation. Harmony is to be prized, you should not be angry." She looked at Mu Qian with great sincerity and said, "Elevenor, we all welcome you here." Jing Lianghui, who is, too, riding a tiger, is now having a hard time to get off. Now that the beauty was asking for it, he gave way and said, "You have to partic. IP8 to attend. When you see Gongzi's talent later, you will definitely regret going against him." The thought that later on, Mu Qian, she will worship him like everyone else, fawning over him and flattering him in all sorts of ways, made Jing Lianghui feel much better. All the people who came to attend this exchange meeting entered the venue, and the entire venue was very exquisitely decorated and pleasing to the eye, showing that Mu Ruoyan had put in a lot of effort. Once everyone was there, it was time for Jing Lianghui to show off and perform, waving his hands and displaying numerous herbs. He said, "These herbs are the ones used to refine the first-grade elixir pill, which is, as soon as the properties of these herbs were introduced, many people were laymen and naturally looked at Jing Lianghui with admiration." Junmo said, "Little girl, I feel like I'm watching a monkey show. So boring. Might as well go back and eat meat." "I feel the same way, let's watch it first. And then you find a chance to break the scene, else it's all for nothing." With a nod he said, "But this guy is such an idiot, I don't even feel like trashing the venue anymore. I thought he was so powerful." While Mu Qian and Jun Mo were watching the monkey show, something big happened to Mu Jiao. Third master. For a time, the Wu Yu courtyard was in complete chaos. At this moment, Mu Wushuang's face was so pale, large drops of sweat fell from his forehead and he felt like his legs were being crawled by millions of ice-cold insects. The guards around him said, "I'll go and invite the young lord." "Stop!" Mu Wushuang coldly shouted. "Father's seal is no longer effective and the poison on my leg flared up, so it's useless even if Elevenor is here or not. Don't tell Elevenor, so she won't worry," Mu Wushuang said weakly. "But, that's an order." As soon as the shadow was about to say something, several figures suddenly appeared in front of them. The shadow was stunned. "Who?" Boom. In a flash they exchanged blows, but today Mu Wushuang couldn't even move a finger because of the pain, so it was very difficult for him to deal with these martial and spirit kings by himself. The poison flared up wildly and eventually Mu Wushuang couldn't stand it any longer and Pares set out. Third master. Mu Qian, who had been watching Jing Lianghui's antics, suddenly had a very bad premonition and stood up with a cold killing intent emanating from her body. She had no idea what else could be going on that would make her so unsettled. Mu Qian could never have imagined that her young uncle Mu Wushuang, who had recovered his eyesight and had reached the third stage of Martial King, would encounter danger in this remote land known as the Purple Moon Kingdom. At the same time, Jing Lianghui was refining a first-grade pill when he suddenly felt a cold, murderous aura that caused his mental energy to stagnate, leaving him out of control for a moment. Boom! The furnace in front of his eyes exploded with a bang. Cough, cough. Jing Lianhui crawled up with great difficulty, as if he had come out of a coal mine, and his smoothly combed ink hair had turned into a mess. Seeing such a funny scene, the crowd really wanted to laugh but did not dare to. It was so hard to hold it in that it caused internal injuries to some. Jing Lianghui raged, Mu Qianxi, you actually attacked me while I was refining my medicine. You have caused Gongzi to fail in refining medicine. Junmo said, if your strength is poor, how can you blame others for failing to refine the pills? Who are you? What right do you have to talk to Gongzi like that? Junmo slowly walked over and said, who am I? If I remember correctly, you all call me Medicine King. Ha ha ha. You? Medicine King? Jing Lianghui was laughing so hard he couldn't catch his breath. You liar. I've heard that the Medicine King is an advanced alchemist, even more powerful than our patriarch. How can you, a dimwit, be an advanced alchemist? Boring. Since we are here today to trash this place, there has to be something I can do. Junmo raised his hand, and an alchemy furnace appeared in front of him. He lazily used his fire attribute spiritual energy, and for a moment the whole ship's cabin became scorching hot. Master Peng, who had been very arrogant on the side, suddenly jumped up. Fire attribute. Junmo's movements were very smooth as he put in every single spiritual herb, and not long after, a 5-grade pill was refined casually by Junmo. A 5-grade pill. He really is the Medicine King. How is that possible? Jing Lianghui was incredulous. At this time, Master Peng jumped out and said, Medicine King, you are definitely the Medicine King, and no one in the entire Purple Moon Kingdom can do that except you. Please take me as your disciple, Master. The crowd saw an unbelievable scene. The royal chief alchemist, who had always been on top of the world, actually wanted to learn from a young man who looked like he had not yet reached the age of 20. What a bizarre scene this was. Meanwhile, Mu Ruoyan also walked over and gently said, Lord Medicine King, Ruoyan has admired you for a long time. Please take Ruoyan as your disciple. Junmo drew the line. This old guy is a low-level alchemist and you. Heh. What qualifications do you have to ask me to take you as my disciple? Mu Ruoyan spoke in a low voice. Ruoyan is not talented, just a low-level alchemist who can only concoct third-grade pills. But I will definitely serve the Medicine King well. Hiss. As soon as Mu Ruoyan's words came out, all the people were stunned. Even Shenyuan Li Shong and Jing Lianhui were shocked, originally thinking that Mu Ruoyan was only interested in alchemy, but never imagined that she could actually refine third-grade pills and was even better than Jing Lianhui. Mu Ruyun was thrilled. Sister Ruyan is so powerful. Seeing a calm Mu Qianxi on the side, Mu Ruyun walked over and exclaimed, Humph. Mu Qianxi, even if you're a first-stage spirit master you are nothing special. No matter what, you can't catch up with Sister Ruoyan who is an alchemist. You're not even worthy enough to lift her shoes. It was at this time that Junmo coldly said, Oh, to be able to concoct a third-grade pill at such a young age is not bad. Mu Ruoyan's face showed surprise due to Junmo's words. Junmo continued, But if you want me to take you as my disciple, then you have to see if Xiaoxi agrees first. I'm hers after all. 1. Gongzi, honorific for son of an official or son of nobility. 2. Idiom, fig. Impossible to stop halfway. Chapter 120. Junmo reached out, pointing at Mu Qianxi. She is now in charge of his food and home, of course he is her person. Junmo thinks this way, but the others thought the wrong way. This sentence is too misleading, okay? Mu Ruyun's proud face instantly froze in disbelief. How could this happen? The Medicine King unexpectedly wanted to listen to Mu Qianxi's words. Mu Qian looked at her with a smile and said, Mu Ruyun, your words just now appear to be the opposite. Even if Mu Ruoyan is able to refine a third-grade elixir, this lord doesn't think highly of her. She is not even worthy to raise this lord's shoes. Junmo, if you take such a woman as your disciple, then I will absolutely cut off ties with you. Junmo shrugged his shoulders and said, then there is nothing I can do. Woo woo woo. Mu Ruoyan cried in a low voice. Jing Lianghui immediately grabbed her shoulders and said comfortingly, Ruoyan, don't cry. You are so talented, even the patriarch will accept you as a disciple. Being the disciple of the Medicine King are not rare in the least. Boom. At this time, Junmo suddenly made a move. With one kick, Jing Lianghui was sent into the lake. 1. Ben Gongzi hates self-righteous SCUM like you the most. To say that you will be more powerful than this Ben Gongzi in the future is simply an insult to this Ben Gongzi. Kark. Jing Lianghui after he fell directly into the water coughed and took a cold shower. Medicine King, you're just too much. Who let you say things you shouldn't? You deserve it. For a moment, the cold and immortal-like image of the man disappeared and the onlookers' mouths twitched. Medicine King, did Lord Mu's temperament pass us on to you? Why are you so violent? At this time, Master Peng's old face unfolded a bright smile and came up to Mu Qian, asking, Lord Mu, take a look at me, do I fit in as a proper disciple of the Medicine King? The corners of Mu Qian's mouth twitched. Master Peng, you're so old to be this guy's disciple, don't you care about seniority? Master Peng replied, in our world of alchemy, regardless of age, it is only about one's ability. Therefore, this old man does not feel ashamed. As long as the great Medicine King can give a few pointers to me, I will die without regret. Mu Qian said, the truth is, even if you want the Medicine King to guide you, you can't. You must give up becoming the royal family's chief alchemist first and then come to work in my ghost medicine house. Will I agree with you? Her ghost doctor house has too few alchemists, while business is getting better and better. It would be good to recruit more people. This old guy is a little older and has less talent in alchemy, but his experience is not bad, otherwise he would not have become the chief alchemist of the Purple Moon Kingdom, right? Shenyuan Li Shong was furious. Mu Qianxi, to think that you have the audacity to steal from our royal family. You're crazy. Shenyuan Li Tian also said gloomily, Mu Qianshi, you are Imperial Brother's fiancé, but you are actually hooking up with someone outside and having such a close relationship with the Medicine King. Tarnishing the reputation of our royal family, aren't you afraid of making ninth brother displeased with you? Mu Qian's voice was cold, Juyi does not care. Also Your Highness Shenyuan Li Tian, you should stop meddling in this lord's affairs. Shenyuan Li Tian's face turned green for a moment, then purple in a matter of seconds, a lot more colorful than a palette could be. He coldly snorted, Mu Qianxi, if you continue to act like this sooner or later you'll die without knowing. Meanwhile, Master Peng made up his mind and said, I promise, I will return to the palace later to give His Majesty my resignation. Shenyuan Li Shong's face turned pale and said, Master Peng, the Ghost Doctor House is just a small medicine house run by Mu Jia. The pills and potions sold are all inferior, why do you have to condescend to a place like that? Master Peng waved his hand and said, there is a Medicine King sitting in there. It is definitely not as simple as you think. Your Highness, this old man already made his decision. Shenyuan Li Shong wanted to kill the chief alchemist of their Shenyuan royal family, so that he can't be used by others. When their father comes back, His Majesty will surely not let him go. Mu Qian said, then Master Peng should quickly report to the Ghost Doctor House. This lord will leave first, you guys take your time and play. Mu Qian dragged Junmo away. Since the event was already in a mess and half of the ship was destroyed, she hurriedly went home. Especially since the restlessness she's feeling hasn't gone down at all. Junmo said, I'm going back to the Ghost Doctor House and won't go back to the Mu Jia with you. Come back to Mu Jia's residence with me first, I need you to take a look at my little uncle's leg. Mu Qian pulled him away nonchalantly. She already had a way to solve the poison in little uncle's eyes. But those legs have been poisoned for over 20 years and there is nothing she can do about it. She was hoping that this native Medicine King would be able to figure out something, even if just a little. When she got back, she found that nothing happened. But as soon as she reached the Wu Yu courtyard, seeing the broken tables and wheelchair with blood, Mu Qian's face turned dark. She coldly shouted, Mu Yi. Swish. All the shadows of the Mu Jia appeared and froze instantly when they saw the scene in front of them. Third Master. He. With a thud, he kneeled. Please forgive me, Lord. We subordinates failed you. Someone entered here and grabbed little uncle without anyone noticing. The other party must be a martial king or spirit king expert, but who exactly is it? Mu Qian's brows are knitted. No matter who it is, mobilize all the intelligence of the Mu Jiao and report back to me. Her purple dress blowing up with the wind and with a cold and dark expression, her aura turned into bloodle. UST. This was the first time Jun Mo, Mu Yi, and the others had seen her like this. She, who talks, laughs and is casual and unrestrained every day, let out such a terrifying expression. Yes, Lord Jun Mo said softly, little girl, since the other side did not kill directly, there's still a chance. Don't rush first. Mu Qian's figure disappeared in a flash. Before going inside the medicine room, she shouted. Notify me if there is news, I'll go and do some preparation. Those who dares to touch my little uncle, I will make them pay a heavy price. Jun Mo originally wanted to help Mu Qian refine some elixirs, but seeing that she took out a number of highly poisonous things, he thought it was better for him not to go inside the room. When night fell, the eldest young master of the Ouyang family, Ouyang Ji, entered the Mu Jiao's residence proudly. Let Mu Qian she come to see me. Lord. Outside the medicine room, came Mu Yi's voice. With a wave of her hand, Mu Qian she gathered up the poison she had refined anew, and with an icy gaze, she spat out 2 words. Ouyang clan. This time Mu Qian did not neglect Ouyang Ji, and the next moment he learned that Ouyang Ji had come, Mu Qian had already appeared in front of him. When he was about to raise a brow, a sense of foreboding crept up on his skin. A pair of slender fingers suddenly strangled his neck and a cold voice came into his ears. My little uncle, where is he? Cough cark cark. Mu Qian's hand was so fierce that Ouyang Ji's face turned blue from the pinch and he kept coughing. He said with difficulty, if you don't want Mu Wushuang to die, let go. 1. Ben is used by a speaker to refer to themselves in the third person, Iliism. This form of speaking is used for more formal occasions, usually when the speaker is part of a conversation among equals or as the highest ranking person in the room. Chapter 121. Mu Qian's arm moved and viciously dropped Ouyang Ji's body down. Leader. At this time, a slender voice swept by and Yu Ziyi looked at Mu Qian with worry. He knew that Third Master Mu Wushuang was her only family member. How much Third Master Mu Wushuang dotes on her and how important he is for her. Ouyang Ji grimaced in pain and said angrily, Mu Qian Shi, how dare you make a move against me? Aren't you afraid that Mu Wushuang will die without a burial place? Swish. Numerous needles were suspended in front of Ouyang Ji. Speak up. Don't give me so much nonsense. No matter what, this lord will kill you today and go talk to the Ouyang clan myself. Ouyang Ji's body trembled. He felt that at this time the person in his eyes was not Mu Qian, but His Highness the Night Prince instead. Like a death god, there is no trace of human emotion in her eyes. Ouyang Ji didn't dare to talk any more nonsense, and spoke, Mu Wushuang was taken away by my master and his men. As long as your Mu clan handed over all their properties, including money, estates, elixirs, and artifacts, my master and his men would naturally release Mu Wushuang. Mu Qian asked, the third elder of the fire sect and the others, how exactly did they capture my uncle? Even if a few spirit kings are mobilized, it is impossible to make a move on her little uncle. Mu Qian wanted to know what exactly happened to him. How can Mu Wushuang be my master's opponent? You also think too highly of him. Ah. Mu Qian directly slapped Ouyang Ji away. Those SCUM from the fire sect, how could they be a match for my little uncle? Ouyang Ji covered his face. Mu Qian Shi, do you promise or not? If you don't deliver the stuff personally to the fire sect before midnight today, just wait until you collect the corpse of that crippled little uncle of yours. Crack. Without needing Mu Qian's hand, Yu Ziyi had already moved forward to break both of Ouyang Ji's arms. Arg. Ouyang Ji screamed miserably in pain. They wanted to take my clan's properties and think that this lord would easily agree. Born as a major clan of the Purple Moon Kingdom, yet they covet the wealth of secular families. Tell me, did the Fire Clan go crazy from poverty? At this time, the Great Elder and the others rushed towards her. Lord, you mustn't. If we give away these properties, our Mu Jia is finished. The second elder spoke without remorse on the side. Yes. The third master is lucky. He will definitely escape this disaster. A cold glint flashed on Mu Qian's eyes. If we don't hand over the wealth, will the two elders lead the way to kill the fire sect with me to save little uncle? The corners of their mouths twitched slightly. They were only at the peak of the 9th stage martial warrior. Don't mention going. Even killing the extreme fire sect was obviously an impossible task for them. They still want to live a few more years. The great elder said, Lord, the fire sect is a large sect. In the whole Purple Moon Kingdom they are definitely not to be messed with. We can tolerate this, Lord, don't be impulsive. Swoosh. A few cries were heard as countless needles flew towards these old guys. All kinds of poisonous powders were also sprayed towards them. Mu Qian was furious. A bunch of old guys looking for death. This lord's little uncle's life is in danger right now and you're telling me to put up with it? All of you. Get lost. Mu Qian pointed at Ouyangji, including you. Get lost for this lord as well. For the fire sect to be able to make the calm and collected Mu Qian like this, it seems like they really touched her reverse scale. Uze, go and collect the property of the Mu Jia. I understand. Uze agreed without saying a word. Mu Yi, gather everyone. Yes, my lord. Junmo, follow me to the fire sect and I will make you a lot of delicious food that you have never eaten before. Really? Count me in. Junmo jumped up in excitement as soon as he heard about food and was completely captivated. Qingying, feel free to eat these elixirs. Restore yourself to the highest level, then come with me to save him. Mu Qian took out a large batch of elixirs, which was more than the entire Purple Moon Kingdom's annual elixir trade. Junmo looked at Mu Qian with wide eyes. Little girl, so many elixirs. Are you feeding a pig? Wow. As a result, a pair of cold eyes glanced at him. Junmo suddenly felt a chill, so he hurriedly shut his mouth. Although Qingying doesn't talk a lot, it does not mean that he couldn't understand human words. It was already dark and all preparations were ready. Mu Qian brought the 99 shadows of the Mu Jia along with Qingying and Junmo, whose strength was unfathomable, to eliminate the fire sect. While they were in the midst of a mad rush, a scarred figure suddenly jumped out, and Mu Qian hastily bellowed, Mu Yi. Mu Yi hurriedly pulled the one who had fallen to the ground. Sir Do Ying. Aren't you my little uncle's personal shadow guard? Mu Qian asked in a low voice. Do Ying fell to one knee. This subordinate deserved to die. I didn't protect the third master well enough. Please forgive me, young lord. What exactly happened? This. Do Ying wanted to say something but stopped for a moment and just said, Young lord, third master said that the fire sect possesses a powerful artifact. He ordered this subordinate to never let you go to the fire sect for he will be fine. He clenched his fists, wishing he could shatter the bones in his body. He knows how badly the situation is for the third master, but he can only say to others that Mu Wushuang will be fine. No matter what, the young lord mustn't go to that place and risk her life. Mu Qian lowered her head, her pair of pitch-black eyes were so deep as she looked down on him. You better be telling the truth or else. I actually do not want to use this on my own people. A needle with uncertain substance had already drawn into Mu Qian's hand, and the pupils of Do Ying fiercely shrank. The young lord was always true to her words. She definitely wouldn't say it just to intimidate people. Young lord, the poison in the third master's legs was sealed by the old patriarch since childhood, but now the seal has not been imprinted for nearly 20 years, so it has almost reached its limit and has broken out by now. With the arrival of those scum from the fire sect today, the third master, who is in immense pain, is unable to face the enemy. And I alone wasn't enough to deal with so many people and let the third master be taken away by them. I sneaked into the fire sect to save him but was eventually discovered by them and failed to bring the third master out. Mu Qian's face changed greatly. Little uncle's situation is so critical. We must hurry and save him. Do Ying anxiously said, Young lord, the fire sect is a dangerous place. Third master knew their plans were not small, otherwise they would not do something against the rules of the Dao. Do Ying, you know I couldn't care less about that. Right now, my only family is in their hands. Even if I pull the whole fire sect to HELL, I will not give up to save my little uncle. The night breeze blew up, her black hair blowing in the wind. The woman in front of him was as bright as the moon and her eyes were as clear as the cold stars of the dark night. He knew that there was no one who could stop her. There was a time that Third Master was also like this, and this time it was the young lord. Go. 1. Tien, his referring to Mu Wuxuang's father. 2. Dao, Dao, the origin and source of all things. It can be translated in many different ways, including the Way Road Path method. According to Taoism, it is the absolute principle underlying the universe, combining within itself the principles of yin and yang and signifying the way, or code of behavior, that is in harmony with the natural order. Chapter 122. Mu Qian used the fastest speed to arrive at the clan gate of the fire sect. The stone stairs leading to the interior of the fire sect were filled with lifelike relief sculptures that were raging with flames. Just standing at the entrance, you can feel the heritage of this 100-year-old sect, which is not a match for any of the secular families in the Purple Moon Kingdom. An outer disciple of the fire sect came forward and made a palm-hold fist salute. Mu Zhou's lord, please come inside. Our sect master is waiting for you. Mu Qian's expression was cold as she followed this person into the fire sect, and Jun Mo and Qingying followed after her. The great hall of the fire sect was wider than the imperial palace's martial hall, and sitting inside were the fire sect's leader, Ji Shan, along with his 7 sect elders. Ji Shan said, Lord Mu, you dare to come to my fire sect personally. You have a lot of guts. Cut the crap, where is my little uncle? Mu Qian, she said in a cold voice. Mu Zhou's lord is as lawless and untamed as rumors say. Today, I have finally seen it. This is my territory, so you are not allowed to be arrogant here. The spiritual pressure of the third stage Spirit King swept over. But Mu Qian raised her eyes without the slightest fear. A pair of dark eyes seemed to contain a storm, wanting to annihilate the old guys in front of her. I'll say it again, where is my little uncle? Old man, if you still won't let me see my little uncle, even if this lord dies today, you will also get nothing. The Grand Elder of the Fire Clan laughed. Mu Zhou's lord is young and vigorous and truly fears nothing under heaven. Sect leader, since Mu Wuxuang doesn't have any strength left, should we let her meet him? Then we will listen to the Grand Elder. The sect leader nodded his head. At this time a white figure was being supported by someone to come out. Mu Wuxuang had already lost consciousness at this time. His jade-like face was white and his breath is extremely weak. Mu Qian fist clenched. Her figure flashed and softly held Mu Wuxuang's body. Jun Mo. Jun Mo drew a cold breath. He has an ancient poison in his body and the seal that keeps it bay was already broken. He is already at death's door. Swish. Mu Qian injected several potions into Mu Wuxuang, and in an instant Mu Wuxuang's life force was quickly fading. Ji Shan gloated. This little girl is a ruthless character. In order to reduce Mu Wuxuang's pain, she actually took the initiative to kill him. Jun Mo also looked stunned. Do Ying's face changed greatly. What is the little girl, young lord, doing? Mu Qian ordered. Do Ying, take care of little uncle. Jun Mo looked at Mu Qian like a monster. You actually have a way to make people fake their own death. Usually when I encounter a patient who is on the verge of death and cannot find treatment for the time being, I will choose to let the patient fake his death first and then study ways to save him. I was able to come up with a solution every time, and this time, it will definitely work too. Jun Mo fell silent. He did not want to discourage her. This patient, Mu Wuxuang, was definitely much worse than her previous patients. His poison was not something that could be saved if you want to. At this time, Ji Shan said, Little girl, the person is in your hand, so the things that I want, you should hand it over. Mu Qian raised an eyebrow. Old man, stop your acting. We all know that even if I hand over all my clan's property, you will not let us go today. If you were really after my clan's property, then more than 10 years ago, you would have broken the secular agreement to make a move against my Mu Zhou. Why wait until now? Ji Shan stood up and laughed hideously. Little girl, I must say you're very smart. What I want from the fire sect is not your Mu Zhou's property, but the life of the future Night Prince's consort. After saying that, several old guys seized towards Mu Qian viciously, carrying a sinister and murderous aura in their whole body. 2 figures blocked Mu Qian's front, and the strength of martial and spirit kings shook them back before they could get their way. Ji-shan froze. When did the Purple Moon Kingdom produce two such young martial and spirit king experts? But even if Mu Qian had two martial and spirit kings with her, it was still too little. Taking down Mu Qian and them would not take much effort at all. Wudi. Xiao Hong. At this time, Mu Qian let out two more trump cards. I, Wudi Tianxia, are number 1. How dare you touch my master, you're all looking for death. Wudi said in a cold voice. Swoosh. With a sound, Wudi's figure rushed out. Their faces changed greatly in unison. What kind of spirit beast is this? Meanwhile, crimson flames shot up into the sky as Xiao Hong jumped out. They only saw a little red figure wrapped in flames charging straight down at them. The eyes of the sect leader of the fire sect widened. How is it possible? That's a holy beast. She. How could a spirit beast with this rank appear in the Purple Moon Kingdom? Xiao Hong wagged his tail in delight and laughed. Old man, do you want to die? How dare you hit my master's heart? Shadows, do it. Rumble. Just at this time, the entire fire sect mountain collapsed. Before coming to this hall, Mu Qian had asked some shadows to plant explosives inside the fire sect. In addition, these explosives were unlike the ordinary ones she used before. With her configuration of various poisons, today will be the day where the whole fire sect will blow up to the sky. Ack. Cough. Sect leader, it's not good, we've been poisoned. The disciples of the fire sect rushed inside in a hurry. All the disciples of the fire sect below martial and spirit kings were poisoned and lost their fighting strength, while few of the spirit and martial kings left were weakening. Ji-shan was furious. Poisoned? Then why won't you take an antidote pill? Sect leader, the antidote pill is useless. Not only is it useless but it also catalyzes the poison, making us more and more deeply poisoned, a disciple said with anxiety. How is that possible? Ji-shan said with disbelief. The antidote pills rarely failed unless one encountered a very powerful high-ranking poison master. Could it be that the Mu Jiao actually had a high-ranking poison master? All of you catch Mu Qian Shi for me. Ji-shan ordered. After capturing Mu Jiao's lord, asking for the antidote won't be a problem. Countless needles flew out of Mu Qian's body while her whole body was covered with poison. When they got close to Mu Qian and were about to grab her, suddenly the poison all over her body turned pitch black. Ah! A miserable scream came out. Poison. She's filled with poison. Their eyes widened in disbelief. Even Ji-shan stared in disbelief. He did not expect Mu Qian to make a poison so powerful. The poison on her whole body is fatal. If one touches it, he or she will immediately die. Ji-shan ordered, kill them directly, no need to leave them alive. A few spirit kings from the fire sect were stopped by Jun Mo and Wudi, but countless spirit and martial kings pounced towards Mu Qian Shi. Lord. Several figures fell down and blocked their attacks. Clacking sounds filled the area. The shadows' concealed weapons were fired in unison, shooting every opponent in front of them. Lord. Hurry up and go with Third Master. Mu Yi roared. In order to make a path for Mu Qian Shi, they will block the enemies even if it costs them their life. Even if the other side's people were poisoned by a lot, if they set their mind to kill, there's still a little chance that they may succeed. Chapter 123. Just as this crisis reaches its peak, Ting's voice sounded, "Ugly woman, I'll do my best to help you this once. Remember, when the time stops it's all up to you. After that I will fall into a deep sleep, so you can't be too careless while I'm asleep. Cut the CROP and do it quickly. Mu Yi and the others can't hold out anymore." A breeze blew and in an instant, everything around seemed to have stood still. When Mu Qian's purple figure moved, all the poisonous needles flew out and rushed towards all the strong people around. She was like a grim reaper as she began to reap the lives of these people. Boom! All 7 elders were killed with a single blow. However, the sect leader of the fire sect happened to be protecting his body with spiritual power, so his body was unharmed and Mu Qian's needles, surprisingly, could not get close to him. Time resumed its flow when Mu Qian struck him once more. Seeing that Mu Qian, a weak spirit master, dared to strike at him, Ji-shan directly slapped her palm away, seeking death. The power of a spirit king swept through her, making Mu Qian feel like her body and internal organs were about to shatter open. PFT. A mouthful of blood was spat out. Qing Ying's body flashed and in an instant, he shielded Mu Qian from the front. Boom! Ji Shan's attack fell on his body. Qing Ying and Mu Qian flew out, while Ji Shan also took a few steps back and widened his eyes in surprise. How is that possible? How can his body be so strong? But what surprised him even more was yet to come. The 7 fire sect's elders, one by one with a thud fell to the ground. Everyone's lips were purple, as if they had been poisoned. What happened just now? How can they be poisoned in a blink of an eye? Is this something even a human can do? Ji Shan was confused. The opponent in front of him somehow collapsed and Wu Di and Xiao Hong hurriedly blocked in front of their seriously injured master. Jun Mo's body flashed and encircled Ji Shan from behind. He laughed. The elders of your clan are all poisoned. Once I finish you, I'll be done and have something good to eat. What the hell is going on here? Ji Shan felt that this must be a nightmare. Mu Qian slowly stood up, wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. If you want to know, you go to HL and ask the King Yang. Mu Qian grabbed out a handful of pills to heal herself and also gave a lot to Qing Ying. Qing Ying, can you still fight? If you can fight, finish this old guy in one breath. Qing Ying directly took the pills as water to drink to recover his strength, and the corners of Ji Shan's mouth twitched when he saw these two people who were so wasteful of high-quality pills. What kind of people are these? Do it! Mu Qian coldly shouted, and in an instant, Ji Shan was surrounded by 4 side. The strength of Jun Mo, Qing Ying, and Xiao Hong were not weaker than him, plus with the agility of the spirit beast Wu Di, this is the first time he fell into a difficult battle. Xiao Hong shouted, "Behold, the amazing destroyer of heaven." Fiery red flames spread out in the entire fire sect as Xiao Hong attacked with all his might. Qing Ying's figure turned into countless shadows, continuously attacking Ji Shan from all sides. Swish! Wu Di made a strike with his claw and viciously grabbed Ji Shan's neck. Ji Shan hurriedly dodged, but there were 3 still more bloody claw marks left on his face. AJ! A miserable scream came out from him and blood spilled on the ground. Just at this time, the moonlight shone on a long sword then stabbed towards Ji Shan's chest. Mu Qian smiled. I didn't expect that this foodie who's good at alchemy is also good at making swords. This stunning sword made Ji Shan unable to escape anymore. Ji Shan shouted loudly, "Master, help me. Save me. I don't want to die yet." Boom. After Ji Shan fell to the ground, a deafening sound filled the entire area of the fire sec. A huge black shadow that blots out the moonlight with its darkness and evil aura swept over Ji Shan's body. Which person managed to turn you into this wretched state? Is it Bunzwa's food that has come? Since you're here, why didn't you wake Bunzwa up earlier? Its voice was ear-splitting, causing the whole ground to shake. Ji Shan weakly answered, "That person, he hasn't come yet." Rubbish, that man hasn't even come yet and you're already in such a mess. The power of darkness devoured all the disciples of the fire sect who were poisoned and lost their combat power on the ground. "Master, these are all my disciples of the fire sect, they are only poisoned. They're not dead yet." His own disciples were devoured one by one, including the 7 elders, which made his flesh ache. It's just some trash so what if they are devoured by me? In time, with Bunzwa's help, you will make your fire sect the #1 sect in the snow continent and the #1 sect in the southern realm. When that time comes, will you still care about these wastes? That voice was unusually arrogant. Ji Shan exclaimed, "Your Excellency is right. The power of darkness seems to restore Ji Shan's life that was on the verge of death. It was good that he himself came back to life, so it doesn't matter to him whether others were alive or dead at this point." Xiao Hong hurriedly said in a deep voice, "Master, go. This disgusting thing gives me a very bad feeling." Even Jun Mo also frowned slightly. What the hell is this thing? Lord. The shadows and the others were also incredibly cautious. When the Fire Clan got a particularly powerful backing, that's the only time they dared to go against the entire Purple Moon Kingdom and went against Juyi directly. That powerful force is not something they can go against, so that powerful backing must be this pitch-black monster. Mu Qian shouted, "Retreat." Ji Shan hurriedly said, "Master, don't let them get away. The entire SPACE seemed to be enveloped by that dark power, becoming sticky, and that black shadow laughed hideously. You can't run away, be good and become my food for recovery. A behemoth, from and among the black fog, came out, and at this time Mu Qian and the others clearly saw the monster's appearance. It has an ape-like face but with a pair of bull horns. Have 4 legs and 4 hands, but the body is like a lion with long hair. It is a big monster that is completely unlike any other. Jishan pointed at Mu Qian. That woman, that's his woman. Kill her and he will surely throw himself into the pit. Ka. Is that so? The monster laughed hideously and its 4 hands suddenly became longer to grab Mu Qian. She roar. Xiao Hong bellowed with rage and spewed out crimson flames. Disgusting thing, don't try to touch Bunzhwa. Those flames did not do any damage to the monster, as if it was only a small flame. It said with contempt, a stupid pig, how dare you block Bunzhwa? With great strength, Xiao Hong's body was directly slapped away. I saw, all of you, get lost. Looking at the aggressive Wudi, Jun Mo and the others, the monster's 4 hands slapped towards them. Sound of chaos filled the area. The monster's speed is astonishing that even Jun Mo and Qing Ying could not dodge it completely. The disparity in strength between the monster and them was in plain sight. In just a few seconds, Mu Qian was already caught and she simply could not escape. Woman, do you think I should shred your arm first? Or should I tear your hand first? The monster stared at Mu Qian and asked. Right at this time, Mu Wushuang, who had been shielded by Dou Ying, moved a little. In front of Dou Ying, Mu Wushuang's jet black hair turned into silver purple. As his eyes slowly opened, it also turned into that color. Chapter 124. A cold, indifferent voice came out. A lowly ghost, how dare you harm my niece? That pair of golden eyes, with an icy coldness that did not belong to this human world, seemed to turn the surroundings into HELL. Little uncle. Mu Qian was stunned. She forced her little uncle's body to rigor mortis but didn't expect him to suppress the medicine and wake up. This power is yours. You're here. Then, as long as I eat you, I will get incomparable power. The ghost laughed hideously. At this point, the menacing ghost has given up on feasting Mu Qian's body and turned his attention to Mu Wushuang instead, greedily looking at Mu Wushuang with drool. Jishan widened his eyes. Master, are you saying that the power you wanted was from him and not from the Night Prince? How is that possible? It's him. I'm sure it's him. My intuition is never wrong. The ghost drooled at Mu Wushuang. Its appearance is incomparably disgusting. After saying that, the ghost rushed towards Mu Wushuang. Boom. Terrifying power emanated from Mu Wushuang's body and rushed towards the menacing ghost. But the ghost dodged away and laughed triumphantly. Ka. Your seal is only half unlocked, your power is too weak and your legs are useless. How can you be a match for Bunzhwa? Be a good boy and become the nourishment for Bunzhwa. As its hands grabbed at Mu Wushuang rolled down to the ground to dodge. His legs not being able to move was too limiting to his strength. Mu Wushuang shouted, 11er, hurry up and go. Mu Qian hastily stood up. She knew Ah Ting was in a deep sleep by this time and her own strength, which is at the first stage Spirit Master, isn't enough for the monster they're fighting against right now. But even if she had to fight with her little uncle until the last moment, she will not go. Dou Ying. Take 11er away. Although it was only a low-level ghost, it was not something that any of the people in this little kingdom could fight against, and all Mu Wushuang could do was buy her a little time to escape. You still care about others when you're at the end of your life. Ha. Take this. A powerful attack was blasted towards Mu Wushuang. Ack. A mouthful of fresh blood spat out from Mu Wushuang's mouth. The smell of blood made the ghost even greedier as he opened his big mouth and pounced on Mu Wushuang. I'll eat you alive. Go. At the same time, a volley of needles with varying poisons rushed towards the arm of four-armed monster. Boom. The poison needle exploded in its arm and a white mist enveloped it for a while. This white mist was highly poisonous and ordinary cultivators would definitely be affected. But this four-armed monster isn't human and Mu Qian knew that it wouldn't do any harm on it. Mu Qian swept past and pulled Mu Wushuang, little uncle. Let's go. The white mist dispersed and the huge shadow shrouded them, followed by a raucous voice, "Go? None of you can leave. You humans are too much of an eyesore, why don't you all die for me?" A powerful force came towards Mu Qian, obliterating everything on its path. Mu Wushuang's golden eyes seemed to burn up, ready to throw everything just to protect Mu Qian. But at this moment, a cold and merciless voice that seemed to come out of HELL filled the entire area. "An insect like you, how dare you do this to this prince's fiancée?" A man with a black robe dancing wildly in the night wind appeared in the air like a dark demon god. The night is dark as ink and his aura was akin to a king which no one could disobey. Ji Shan exclaimed. "It's the Night Prince, he's here." Mu Qian looked at the man who looked like an azura in the night sky and was slightly stunned. He really came. "Insect, you say?" In front of Bunzwa, "You humans are the insect." The ghost used its two hands to grab Juyi in the air. The black figure looks cold and noble even when sweeping through the darkness and easily dodging the attacks of the four-armed monster. Suddenly a power that shook heaven and earth swept down, imprisoning the ghost to death. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the menacing ghost was viciously thrown outside, on top of a mountain peak. Its body smashed out a huge hole on top of the mountain peak. Countless rocks fell, and the power of the four-armed monster is surprisingly weakening rapidly. A cold, cruel and sinister look was on Juyi's face as he gently raised his hand and a strand of the ghost's pitch-black soul was drawn out by him. It screamed miserably, "No, my lord, please spare my life." A cold glint flashed in Juyi's eyes. "Die. Who are you? Why are you here? How can there be such an existence in this place?" The soul of the ghost was torn apart in an instant and his angry roar resounded throughout the fire sect. The fire sect leader trembled in fear. He originally thought that the person in the snow continent who was only at the 9th stage Spirit King's peak was the strongest, but he was mistaken. Shenyuan Juyi, this man who could fight to this point, was even more powerful. His master, who is his greatest reliance, was easily cleaned up by Shenyuan Juyi. It was too much to take in. For a moment, he felt an incomparably dangerous aura that locked onto his body. Ji Shan was very afraid of death and hurriedly ordered, "Stop him for me. Stop him for me." He wanted his men to stop Juyi and buy himself time to escape. The remaining disciples of the fire sect, all trembling with fear, were forced to approach carefully due to the orders of the sect leader. But at this time, that pair of icy blue eyes became bloody red. With a wave of his hand, all the people around were all knocked out. One by one, they turned into hideous white bones. "Demon!" Ji Shan shouted. The man in front of him was staring wide-eyed and the mask on his face suddenly fell off. His whole face was covered with a hideous pattern like a vine. Vicious. Venomous. Bloodthirsty. These words suited him completely. He was like a demon god descending into the world, making the crowd almost scared out of their wits. Mu Qian froze for a moment and hurriedly shouted, "Juyi." His face, how did it turn out like this? She had seen the face under his mask. It was beautiful enough to make heaven and earth lose its color, not like this. Boom. Sounds of chaos filled the area and Juyi is like the devil that seeks others' life at each turn. At this point, the entire fire sect was destroyed. The majestic sect with palaces, pavilions, and towers are all turned into ashes in an instant, as if a bomb landed on it. All the disciples of the fire sect were turned into white bones and reported to King Yang. It was a terrifying and shocking extermination. Mu Yi and the others were shaken. They hastily contracted their formation and protected Mu Qianxi. They felt that at this moment, His Highness the Night Prince had turned into a demon who only wanted to kill. After he finished solving those people from the fire sect, they were afraid that he would make a move on their lord, so they had to protect her even if it cost them their life. Chapter 125a8. The sect leader of the fire sect fell to his knees and wailed in pain. "You're not human. You're definitely not human." Starting from his head, his body turned into white bones in an instant and finally fell to the ground, completely dead. Juyi's ink hair, which was like silk, fluttered freely in the night sky. A pair of ruthless eyes, tinged with bloodthirsty and ruthless bone-chilling, looked at Mu Qian. His face, which was so beautiful and unrivaled, now became even more hideous than the evil ghost Rakshasa. And the black pattern that seemed to be spreading out to his body kept on giving him an aura that grew more and more terrifying. Ju Yi stepped on the void, like a devil god who defied all life, and approached Mu Qian and the others. "My lord, hurry up and take the third master away," Mu Yi hurriedly said. In an instant, a boundless, gloomy, cold-killing aura filled the air. It was as if 10,000 ghosts were howling around them, making people's bodies freezing cold, which made them think that death is near. Mu Qian pushed Mu Yi away. "You guys move out of the way, lord." Mu Yi's brow wrinkled into a character. "This is an order," Mu Qian said without being allowed to make a comment. 11. Mu Wushuang wanted to stand up to pull Mu Qian, but his legs could not support him at all. Boom! Mu Wushuang, whose strength was depleted, instantly lost consciousness and fainted. He said in a raving voice, 11, absolutely nothing must happen. Mu Qian with a consoling voice, "Little uncle, don't worry. I will be fine. Take good care of little uncle, I'll go check on Ju Yi." Mu Qian moved in a flash. Mu Yi and the others could only watch as the lord, whom they were protecting, approached the man who was as bloodthirsty and ruthless as a demon god. They wanted to stop her, but the lord's order could not be disobeyed. She walked in front of Ju Yi. Ju Yi, like an ice sculpture, set his eyes on Mu Qian. Mu Qian stretched out her hand, touching the hideous face, and said softly, "Ju Yi, what is wrong? This is the first time I've seen you in such a mess." What shocked Mu Qian even more was that the black lines, filled with great evil power, were not poison, nor were they compulsions. Mu Yi, Jun Mo, and the others were about to glare their eyes out. Not only did she get close to this man, but she even touched his face. A pair of cold hands that seemed to freeze Mu Qian to death grabbed her wrist. The terrible strength seemed to crush her bones. Ju Yi said in a low voice, "Go. Take your people and go quickly." His voice, it was as if he was suppressing something. Like there's a ferocious beast that was about to break out of his body, devouring all living creatures here, including Mu Qian. Ju Yi's hands slowly loosened, allowing Mu Qian to regain her freedom. Mu Qian coldly shouted, "Mu Yi, take little uncle and leave quickly." "Lord, what about you?" Mu Yi gritted his teeth. "Ju Yi came in order to help me. He is in a bad situation right now, and as an alchemist, I may have something to alleviate his symptoms." "Lord, this is very dangerous." The hearts of the shadows were anxious. "You all go." A powerful force pushed Mu Qian away. "Lord," Mu Yi's heart was burning with anxiety. Before they had time to leave, at this time, some of the black patterns suddenly came out of Ju Yi's body, forming a furious vortex that surrounded him. Jun Mo widened his eyes. What the hell is going on? When Qing Ying saw the scene in front of him, his pupils shrank violently and he said in a low voice, "I seem to have some impression, but I can't remember." The scene in front of them was completely beyond their imagination. Roar. Suddenly a painful roar came out. Mu Qian frowned tightly. What in the end was that black pattern that could make Ju Yi, who had always been indifferent to anything, suffer to such an extent? Mu Qian took out countless pill bottles and deployed several potions in the blink of an eye. Painkiller, sedative, sleeping agent, these are the only 3 simple potions that can be dispensed today, but no matter what, I'm going to try. Hopefully I can reduce his pain a bit. Mu Qian muttered. Jun Mo's face sank. "Little girl, you're crazy. Although these potions of yours are special, I don't feel that they are going to work against this bizarre situation." Rumble. The mountain beneath their feet suddenly collapsed, making their figures a little unstable. Mu Yi exclaimed, "Lord, we must retreat now or else we will be buried alive." Mu Qian also looked at the man who was wrapped in an evil and terrifying power and couldn't help but stammer. Originally, she thought that the people of the Purple Moon Kingdom feared Ju Yi so much was just an exaggeration to deliberately demonize a good iceberg beauty. But she didn't expect that Ju Yi could really do such a terrifying thing. But even if that is the case, Mu Qian is willing to give it a try. Just when she was about to rush over, a cyan figure blocked her. He said in a deep voice, "Don't go near him, he's very dangerous." Boom. A destructive force rushed towards the Qing Ying, slapping him away. And at this time, Ju Yi expressionlessly appeared in front of Mu Qian and stretched out his hands to pinch her slender neck. As long as he moves a little, he will be able to snap her neck. Seeing this scene, Mu Yi, Jun Mo, and the others' anxious hearts are about to jump out, but they are biting their lips to death. At this moment no one dared to make a sound. They are afraid that if they make a sound, His Highness the Night Prince, who has lost his mind like a demon god, will completely strangle their lord to death. Mu Qian felt that she had difficulty breathing and her head was dizzy. Instead of killing her for Snatc Hing when they first met, Ju Yi was about to make up for it at this time. Just when Mu Qian was about to lose support, she suddenly felt a dark shadow looming over her eyes and then she woke up with a jolt. A single word was slowly exhaled, followed by MMPHMN. Mu Qian's eyes widened and looked at Ju Yi with disbelief. Mu Yi, Jun Mo, and the others also froze. The Lord, little girl, was forcefully kissed by the frenzied Night Prince. His Highness Shenyuan Ju Yi's action is too outrageous. Ju Yi's kiss was very wild. There was no trace of order and skill, as if he simply wanted to let off some steam. His eyes look like it wants to claim or possess something. It's a scene that seems to haunt forever. The night breeze blew up, the black robe and purple dress intertwined underneath the moon. The two people's silky hair was blown up by the cold wind in a difficult way and entwined in their eyes. It was like a deep kiss that, even if it went forever, will never be enough. Chapter 126. Caught unprepared, Mu Qian was dazed by the domineering kiss of Jie Yi but finally recovered a trace of sanity in the next moment. The needles in her hand were drawn out and pierced in Ju Yi but Tarks. Mu Qian mentally sighed, if Ju Yi could come to his senses, I hope he would not take this matter into account. Although it's a normal thing to get a needle in that area in modern times, His Highness the Ti-clad Night Prince was different. If he knew that he was poked with some needles in that area, he would definitely want to kill someone. The corners of Mu Yi and Jun Mo's mouths twitch up frantically. With this temperament, Lord, little girl, is really worthy of being the head of the clan. See, even when kissing, she still has time to be distracted and make a move towards the Night Prince. Meanwhile, Ju Yi, whose focus in what he's doing does not have the heart to care what this woman is up to either. But when he felt her focus was getting farther and farther, Ju Yi nibbled more vigorously, like an insatiable beast that caught its prey. While Ju Yi was engaged in the moment, suddenly a very untimely voice came. Master, the curse has surprisingly flared up early. Are you all right? Housekeeper Bai's eyes widened when he saw the exceedingly charming scene. He instantly froze and wanted to bury himself into the ground to hide. Ju Yi's lips left Mu Qian's and let out a voice that can put people's souls to freeze. Get lost. Boom. Housekeeper Bai, an old bone, was slapped away by his master and blasted off in the air. The black pattern that wrapped around Shenyuan Ju Yi's body at this time slowly came back together, shrinking from his body to his face and slowly disappearing. And finally, the handsome and peerless face that was obscured by dark patterns was once again displayed in front of Mu Qian. Seeing such a stunning and ravishing figure, Mu Yi and the others also stared in disbelief, revealing an incredible expression. They were told that due to the Night Prince's appearance closer to a Rakshasa, he tends to wear a mask. But they didn't expect His Highness the Night Prince to be this handsome, seemingly Serpa. Sing all the men in this world. Mu Qian saw his eyes were back to its icy blue color and breathed a sigh of relief. Then, she turned her head to see Ju Yi, who had done something bad but looked calm as ever. It's good that you're okay, otherwise I'm going to be the first person to suffocate because of kissing. Ju Yi's slender hand gently brushed over her red and swollen lips and softly said, it won't happen. Benjun has a sense of proportion. The cold touch made Mu Qian take a few steps back as if she had received an electric shock, and her heart could not help but throb. Even the furious kiss just now did not make her heart a ripple, so how come a sudden touch from him made her heart skip a beat? Mu Qian had just taken a step back when Shenyuan Ju Yi's slender body actually collapsed in front of her. Mu Qian hurriedly held him up. Ju Yi. After checking, Mu Qian determined that Ju Yi had just run out of strength. Added with the effect of some of her elixirs, he eventually set out and would be fine when he woke up. It's already rare for this guy to fall down in front of her. I wonder what exactly is that curse that housekeeper by just said. It can even make the powerful him become so wretchedly out of control. Mu Qian waved her hand. Go. Let's go home. The fire sect made such a big mess, but no one dared to go near here because they vaguely guessed that the terrifying power is from someone they don't dare to mess with. The one thing that Mu Qian didn't find out was sealed up by this place. Today there are 3 major sects in the Purple Moon Kingdom: the Fire Sect, the Danji Sect and the Xianlei Sect. But in fact, 7 years ago, there was another sect called the Jueming Sect. The sect leader was interested in His Highness the Night Prince and forcibly took him away to the clan. People who knew about the aftermath of said incident were scared to death and never dared to mention it again. Unexpectedly, 7 years later, another foolish sect dared to do the same thing to the Night Prince and eventually perished once more. After entering the capital, Mu Qian ordered, "Housekeeper Bai, take Juyi back to his palace." However, Housekeeper Bai didn't immediately agree and was also in an unusual state of distress. Just now, he knew that the anger on his master's eyes weren't small and he couldn't live without gaining the master's mercy first. An idea popped up in his mind and then Housekeeper Bai laughed. "Lord Mu, those skeleton servants in the Night Prince's palace have no ability to take care of a patient. Why don't you let my master recuperate in your place for one night first?" Mu Qian nodded. Okay, this was the first time Juyi made such a mess, and a large part of the reason was to save her and her little uncle so she won't destroy the bridge after crossing the river. In the first place, if it wasn't for him, she and her little uncle would have been tortured to death by that 4-armed ghost there. After placing Juyi in the Shueshi courtyard, Mu Qian pulled Jun Mo away to see Mu Wushuang. "Jun Mo, you are at least the king of medicine. Tell me what exactly the cure is for my little uncle. Your alchemy is also mysterious and unpredictable and much more complex than mine, so if you can't make a cure for him, then what more can I do?" Mu Qian's face sank. "From now on, you just have to eat wild vegetables every day." Jun Mo instantly tensed up. "You can't do that. I'll die without meat. Then my little uncle." Mu Qian glanced at the sleeping Mu Wushuang. Jun Maro explained, "Those who have been hit with ancient poison never survived. Fortunately, the poison was sealed in his legs, which made your little uncle live for more than 20 years. But with his current condition and broken seal, I'm afraid no one in this world has the strength to suppress his poison again. If not for his strong power, he wouldn't even last this long. I also do not know how long his strength can hold up. I have a 9th Earth grade elixir and green spirit lotus here. You can directly let him take it. It can suppress his body's toxicity, but there's no telling how long it lasts. This ancient poison is too strong." Jun Mo waved his hand and said helplessly, "9th Earth grade elixir. What level is it?" Elixirs is divided into 1 to 9 grades, which is only the mortal grade. Above the mortal grade is called the Earth grade. In the snow continent, there are only 3 or more of this 9th Earth grade elixir. I spent a large sum of money to make this. That's why, little girl, you must feed me with good food and drink every day. For the sake of good food, the Medicine King is very desperate and such treasures are offered." Mu Qian asked, "Just suppression? Then do you know the way to completely detoxify the poison?" What she wanted was definitely not just to suppress the poison but to cure it from the roots and let her little uncle stand up once again. Jun Mo shook his head. The remedies for many poisons in the ancient times have long been lost, plus this one is incomparably malignant, even more impossible to cure, unless what? Mu Qian asked immediately after. Chapter 127, 8 more times Jun Mo answered back, "Unless you find the eternal God cauldron, you might be able to cure the poison and get your little uncle on his feet." Eternal God cauldron, isn't that a medicine cauldron? It can detoxify poison? Mu Qian asked in confusion. As long as you get the eternal God cauldron to recognize you as its master, then you will obtain its inheritance, and perhaps there will be an antidote for the poison in that ancient inheritance. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. Jun Mo waved his hand and said. Mu Qian nodded her head, "I see. It seems that no matter what, we have to find the eternal God cauldron. Not only to improve her own pill-making skills, but also to cure her little uncle. She is now more than determined to win the eternal God cauldron. It's just that this other world is too big, And it's not that simple to find ancient divine treasures. Regarding her contract with the Eternal Pavilion, Chaos Jojong Pavilion, it is completely like a blind cat ping into a dead mouse, while the Eternal Ring, Water God Dragon Ring, was a gift from Ju Yi. Junmo said with a smile, "It's right to have this determination, but to find the Eternal God Cauldron is definitely much more difficult than you can even imagine." Mu Qian surveyed Junmo for a moment before saying, "You seem to be extraordinarily concerned about the Eternal God Cauldron." "That's for sure. Didn't I tell you? The Eternal God Cauldron is a treasure that every pill refiner dreams of. I am also a pill refiner, you know." Junmo pretended to play the profound thinker. After giving Mu Wushuang the spirit lotus, his breath apparently stabilized a lot. Mu Qian she let out a sigh of relief, and then returned to her Shueshi courtyard. As soon as she opened the door to her room, she saw a cold and stunning man reclining on her bed gazing deeply at her. Mu Qian exclaimed, "Ju Yi, you're awake." The man came closer and looked at Mu Qian from above. "I'm okay." Mu Qianqi smiled. "Millimeter. You look fine now." He said that, but is still feeling weary and wants to lie on Mu Qian's bed for a while more. Mu Qian said, "Ju Yi, this is my room. If you want to rest some more, you can go back to the Night Prince Palace first." Ju Yi frowned slightly. "You're driving me away? My place is too small to accommodate 2 people. I'm afraid it would inconvenience you, so you should send me home." In a flash, Ju Yi swept Mu Qian into his arms and took her with him directly. The corners of Mu Qian's mouth twitched. This is not her sending him back but him taking her captive, okay? When Mu Qian was brought into the Night Prince's palace by Ju Yi, she was ready to bolt out. "I've sent you back, so I'll go first. Today, stay." Ju Yi caught Mu Qian. The moonlight at this time fell on her face. Her exquisite face that looked confused was shining in the eyes of Ju Yi. "Stay? To do what?" Mu Qian's heart was pounding. He wouldn't be able to remember what she did to him, would he? Apparently, there's nothing to fear. Think for yourself. What have you done to this prince? With a firm grip, Ju Yi's hand yanked her onto the soft couch in the room. Seeing this one approaching as strongly as a demon god, Mu Qian's heart went up and down. Ju Yi, special circume stances have special treatment. At that time, I could only put the potion needle there. I didn't mean it. A pair of slender hands fell into Mu Qian's neck. A strange cold breath swept Mu Qian's whole body. He said in a low voice, "If it is someone else who does this to Ben Junyu, however, are an exception." Even Ju Yi himself did not know that the cold and cruel icy blue eyes of his actually flashed a hint of doting light. "How about we just let this matter go?" Mu Qian looked hopefully at Ju Yi. Ju Yi retracted his long and slender hands, making Mu Qian breathe a sigh of relief. She's thinking that His Highness the Night Prince would be generous enough to let her go. But the words of Ju Yi made her fall off the soft couch. "Ben Jun intends to use his own way to treat others. What do you think?" With the perfect lips slightly open, the words came out slowly. Mu Qian gritted her teeth but eventually gave up. "Anyway, this ghost doctor is not afraid of needles. In fact, Master Hua has made her potion needles so fine that they don't hurt at all." Mu Qian took out 9 needles smaller than a hair out and said, "Ju Yi, I'll just give you 9 shots, 3 tranquilizers, 3 hypnotics, and 3 painkillers. The medicine is already loaded. If you want to do it now." Mu Qian lay on her side on top of the soft couch, obviously waiting for the doctor to give the injections and resign herself to her fate. But Ju Yi stood aside and did not want to touch the needles in the slightest. Mu Qian turned and asked, "Ju Yi, 9 shots, not enough?" For words were spat out coldly. Mu Qian mentally slandered, "Your Highness surely doesn't want to return the favor tenfold, right? If it's 90 shots, it will poke into a hornet's nest. 10 needles. That's final." Mu Qian took out another needle. "I hope he is not so cruel to really turn it tenfold." As a result, Ju Yi was not moved, but directly pressed Mu Qian on top of the soft couch. That pair of icy blue eyes looked straight at Mu Qian, which flashed a hint of danger, giving Mu Qian a very, very bad premonition. Sure enough, Ju Yi's hand moved, which directly made Mu Qian lie on top of the soft couch. As a result, Mu Qian let out a shout. Her eyes widened and her entire face turned red. She was so angry that she trembled and shouted, Juyi, you bastard. How dare you spank my ass? She has not been beaten like this by anyone in her previous life or this life. That thing of yours, I won't use it, so this is for the best. Juyi replied very honestly, with an equally good feeling in his hand. Maybe aunt can hold it in, but uncle cannot. Mu Qian was ready to resist this inhumane Shura tyrant. It was already humiliating enough to be beaten a little, but if she really got the 90 spanks, she would definitely go berserk. Mu Qian exploded with all her strength, and with a sudden leap, she flipped over and directly grabbed the arm of Juyi and flung him on top of the soft couch. Mu Qian sat on top of him and pressed his shoulders with both hands. The color of her flushed face had not yet faded at this time. She said angrily, Juyi, you've gone too far. My father didn't even hit me. I can't believe you went down there. Juyi, who was forcibly suppressed by Mu Qian, said very seriously, wasn't it you who did that first to Benjun? The corners of Mu Qian's mouth twitched. That's different, that's an injection. As a doctor it's a normal thing to give an injection in that area, and it's not like I haven't seen it before. Just as Mu Qian's words fell, suddenly this Shura Demon King's aura became very dangerous. In an instant, the sky spun, and Juyi took the initiative to suppress Mu Qian once again. There are 8 more times. Hot air sprayed in Mu Qian's ears, but the words he just said made Mu Qian want to cry. Me, I can see your S leaking, Juyi. Juyi, so what? Me, heh, I'll tell this to her uncle the next time we meet. Juyi, are you already tired of living, translator? Me, why you? You can't hurt me or Mu Qian will hate you. Juyi, oh, really? Me, why yeah. And I, if you hurt me this novel will be put on hold again. Juyi, TSK. Fine. I'll spare you this time. Me, phew. OMG, that was so scary. T to the power of T-mai has something to say. This chapter was the last work of the previous translator before she went on hiatus. She forgot to publish it, lol. Hope she'll come back soon. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.